Welcome everyone to the ETF2L Autumn 2023 Loser Bracket Final between liest, doof versus MANDEM. I am Peter. We've got Dr. Underscore on production, and I'm joined by Dum Tum here. As tonight, it's going to be a matter of can Shocky make it into a Prem Grand Final for the first time in 8 years?
Not quite 8-6, but it's been a while.
Yeah, was it season 22 you came up with?
It was with Arctic Foxes before they won Prem. That was 2017-ish.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, and then going up against that, it's MANDEM. They want to prove that they're not the choke artists that they were last season. They won last season as well, and then they choked out and got third place. So if that happens again, that would be really funny. So they want to make sure that doesn't happen, right?
I enjoy myself some comedy, but it would be a bit heartbreaking to see it happen twice. Yeah. We'll see. This season, I mean, much like last season, they had a very overall consistent season. However, it's shown twice now that they have a bit of a weak spot in TLR this season as well. Beat them twice now in admittedly fairly competitive games for sure, but still managed to just lose out both times they've been there. And third time's the charm. It has to be, right? But they have to earn their way there as well. The Germans won't make it easy, that's for sure. Had a fairly close encounter for the most part, but only on really one of the maps they played in the earlier parts of the season.
Yes, another funny wrinkle is, of course, that KN played on MANDEM last season when they choked out, and now he's playing for the Germans instead. So is he going to show that he wasn't the problem after all, or is he going to show that he was actually the problem? He's going to choke it out again. He's been very strong so far in this playoffs. Been having some really strong games, lots of damage, big air shots, everything we're used to seeing. So that should be a funny revenge story, perhaps, that we're going to see out of this.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that will develop from here. But the maps might also matter. Like I said, the match they played against each other in the earlier parts of the regular season before playoffs had a really close map one. That was a bagel. The second map, however, that night was the map we will be seeing tonight to start off with. It was Gullywash, which we're heading into to start the match off with, then followed by Metalworks and Process should we go the distance. But it's interesting to see a team get relatively dismantled at the time. 5-1 scoreline was not the longest game ever. And yet, very confidently leave it in the pick ban process for the other team to pick.
And already, they've already had success on Gullywash in their first match against Forfence. Yeah. They beat them pretty comfortably here on Gullywash. So, kind of a surprise that we just get to see that straight away once again. But either way,
they just feel confident, right? They choked against them in the regular season, but they feel warmed up on Gully now.
Yeah, maybe that's going to be it. We're going to go live in about 10 seconds, so I'm going to make my prediction to say that MANDEM's going to win 3-2, and I feel very not confident about that. What about you?
I feel like I have to go with MANDEM as well. They just had that bit more consistency over the German roster this season in general, and I have a hard time believing really anything else this time around as well. Certainly will make for an interesting run back in Grand Finals either way, but you gotta earn your spot in Grands later tonight. First of all, MANDEM in blue, the Germans in red, fighting it out for that second final slot next to TLR to decide who will win the whole thing later down the line. But this mid-fight, first of all, needs to go well under wraps for either of these rosters. A bit of spam for now, no one daring to commit just yet. I see the soldiers waiting in the wings, not making a big move just now, but sooner or later someone will have to commit somewhere. Fish eating a lot of spam, Ken just waiting for a buff to maybe commit as well, but it is just a long waiting game for now.
Yeah, so apprehensive. Horton's going down very weak. If anyone actually shoots at him, he's going to die, and there we go. He is going to be the first victim on this mid. Balder's weak as well. Actually, they're just going to retreat out of here off of that one pick. That's the slowest Gullywash mid I've ever seen. Maybe these rosters are a little bit nervous, don't want to make any unforced errors, and that in itself could be a slight error here, as that was extremely passive coming out of both teams. And I even felt like Hearts kind of won the mid. Oh wait, Nicky's behind. I just noticed. Oh, he's going to get the drop there on Fiskov, but Shocky and Fiskov both team up there to take him down very quickly. So that's going to be a pick. Once again here for liest, doof, the Germans. They could use this. Philip is in big door. They can try to clear it out and run a scout behind. That's a very normal tactic in Shocky. If anything, he is the guy to be super annoying to have behind you.
Well, if anything else went right yesterday on this map, it was Fishkopf just getting to have value on the flank as well, and surely he won't be the only one attempting that with Voxy and Shock in the roster. Hard to imagine the scouts won't be trying either, but to start off with, we see the soldier go behind, eats a lot of damage, can't hit the final rocket, do still get something in choke. Just because they have a player behind doesn't mean they will just let that guy do all the work, and they're trying to make some space into this second point if they can help it. Slowly but surely walling their way in. Not in great position though. Kane's back in the corner, gets shot down beautifully by Balder. There's the rest of the damage coming through, but in the meantime, they're all busy shooting damage classes. They just want the medic. They have the eyes on the prize. Philip hits the pipe while his teammates die around him. He goes down as well, but who cares?
They're so aggressive despite... Okay, they might be trying to go for a wraparound play, but there's a soldier in the skybox. They want to land on the medic. It's going to land on him perfectly. No surf there. Only gets one rocket off before he gets taken down, and that's going to be that. Wow, that was actually really brave. They were quite a lot of people down, and that Uber force was just enough for them to feel comfortable walking in.
A great job keeping Condor alive. Mind you, Guy didn't play yesterday as well, so has to really make up for his team basically carrying his ass previous match to just show off, yeah, I deserve to be here. Not like he's an unknown quantity by any means, but immediately living these and not getting forced is great to see as the Uber comes into last and make value out of what they've just gotten from Condor's survival. Getting to this point, gun down, already one pick as well. Pyro's still a little bit annoying. Plays under point, however, a bit weak, taking the time, but free up against one under the point. Take down the demo and opening this up. Beautiful shots by Shocky coming through, and now it's just a matter of whittling away the last resources on point, hitting everything. The scouts clean everything up the team delivers, and that will be the first round for the Germans.
Shocky, he wants to get back in that grand final. It's been so long since he's been there. He's making it work right now. That was a nice little 3K for him coming into that last point. Fiskop really initiated everything by jumping onto the point there. Got a kill, maybe? I'm not quite sure, but either way, he did a lot of damage and pulled players out of position. And that was enough for everyone else to pull in. And that's going to be 1-0 here for the Germans to begin this first round. Let's see if this second mid is a little more aggressive.
Certainly looks like it already. The scouts just perching up on point a little bit, sort of spamming, but still no one really going too deep just yet. Buffs have disappeared already. Fish on the point waiting, sees the scout waddle around, can't really go for much, and he's not alone under the point as well. Ladok sees him make a move. If he does jump up, drop down, they will know he's there, but they still take the chances here with the bombs coming in. They just want to get away from that soldier behind, but they kind of forgot about him a little bit. Fish comes from the back lines, does huge damage, and KN gets every bit of cleanup for it in the end.
Oh, Fancy cannot get in there. That's actually going to be a 5K there for KN on that mid. That was one of the classic example of bombing the enemy medic and then just barely not getting him. Kondok, I think he survived on like 20 HP. They went in on him pretty heavily, and just the fact that he didn't die means that right now MANDEM is in such a bad position here. Meanwhile, KN is just cleaning up.
That was so tough too, because they saw the soldier on the point, but the idea to get away from him was, in fact, to just get away from him, right, run over the point, but that was so much damage by KN on top of the point that they just couldn't really get any further, while there's a soldier coming up behind them. They made themselves get pincered really badly on the side of MANDEM, and now it's back to last. Voxy goes down early, helps a lot potentially here, loses a lot of damage from his presence on point already, still trying to just get the bodies on this cap if they can help it. A bit of damage by KN may not be enough, cleans up by Nicky, and that will save the day for now.
Yeah, losing Voxtech there to that sticky trap on point, just having it unflashed for a microsecond there, and Fancy just immediately deads. Gets a nice pick there. That was pretty much enough. They Ubered a soldier into water where there was no one else in there, but he didn't get off in to the point in time to really put on enough pressure, and the push just fell apart here. Pig is going to be left with a pretty sizable Uber advantage right now, so either they want to Uber in. Okay, they are just going to Uber in here. Everyone else is so far back though for the Germans. They're actually going to get 2 picks here, but Haunts get picked off as well. Overextends a little bit. Meanwhile, Soldier actually jumps up top here. Lodox being in an annoying
No way
position.
Shocky gets that! He just hits Nicky with the mix-up, makes him think he leaves, and just goes right back in there with 17 health when no one ever should. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Benny in absolute tatters there. Like, who pushes on that?
and the best part is as well, they just slowed things down so much as well. Like you said, they got 2 kills, but who cares? They're back up again, and now they're waiting for their own respawn on blue, and in the meantime, Condor has Uber now.
Yeah, and Shocky just made his way back to his own team, and I don't even think MANDEM realized. So he just looped all the way around. He's safe. They're going to take mid for free. And question is, are MANDEM actually looking for him still? I think they might be. they have no idea where Shocky is. That's just such a nice little advantage that it's going to be kind of hard to capitalize on, because you don't know whether or not they know. when you're the Germans, but yeah, just absolute masterclass there by Shockey, just gaining so much ground by making a nice play there on the flank.
Yeah, just it basically just got made by itself as well. Unfortunately, not much more into second, but with a lead, certainly you don't have to rush things too much, and as it's been going so far as well, just take your chances here, something might work eventually. There's the bombs coming through early. This time KN first from choke combo in big door instead. None of the spam really connects from anyone on the beam side of things. However, now it's MANDEM's time to play the game.
No,
Both soldiers
Fielding's getting rushed down by Balder. He is so caught out, and he's actually going to get picked off there.
Fish hits these, but it's just two soldiers in at once. Can't airshot both of them at the same time. Medic will still get forced, and Zuba doesn't seem to be getting a whole lot of value.
Yeah, Fischkamp, he is behind lines right now. This is actually really nice because he can threaten the back cap, and there's a big Uber ad right now for Pickles. They want to be in a position where they can use it into mid, but just having Fischkamp there to be dealt with, it's going to be so annoying. They do have two soldiers coming out of spawn, where it's going to be really convenient. They can just kind of deal with him as they roll out. They are going to do that. But the Uber advantage, it's dissipating here, DomTom. I don't know if they're going to be able to go in there in time, but they're going to try their best.
Yeah, and using the Super so early is a bit of a double-edged sword, because you will get into the point for sure. They will have to leave, but clearly, with Fish going down already, they were ready to leave this point regardless, so the Uber coming out in a position where they were never going to force it anyway is good news for them, because they can now push back immediately themselves and just get the space back right away. Claim both soldiers in the meantime. The blue combo still trying to repush a little bit, but I think they are regretting their choice here immediately, seeing as they just have no spam in this choke point.
Yeah, this is like a really nice job there by Nikki to get out. I thought he was going to be caught in here. Soldier jumps in very aggressively. KN hits a nice little rocket onto a scout there. Not sure if he's going to have the team in there to help him, though. He's not really going to have. They're going to have to go down. That was very aggressive play through that choke. It was just KN in solo for a very long time. Team didn't quite join him in time. And that seemed like they really overstepped their borders or boundaries there. And I think it was just a matter of they wanted to get in before Ubers came into play. And we just ended up rushing it a little bit.
Alright, works out for MANDEM in the end. Like you said, the position in choke just not working out in the slightest. Good damage by Fancy will save the day. Horn still trying a little bit here to make a move. Just jumps all around the second point. Back into the medic by like the last chance they have here at least, but it's just not quite coming together. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Still not sack, I suppose, but it's still going to be counter reaction.
Yeah, honestly, that had like a 0% chance of working, and he got one nice rocket onto the medic there. That's more than I ever expected him to get out of that situation. So fair enough play from him. I don't think he hasn't switched to like man-treads or banner or anything like that. It's still just going to be gunboats. So we can expect to see some bomb-ins here. And Gullywash second, it is relatively easy to get a soldier in onto the enemy medic. It is...
Or even just behind.
Yeah. Like you can do stuff with gunboats, right? Whereas, like some of the other maps we're going to see today,
actually, the other team just goes into mid, I guess, as well. Soldiers just in
what an air shot
from the red team.
Gonna die, yeah.
He gets the fallout kill. Wow, that's impressive. We're talking about getting into sack, and they're just on mid in the meantime.
Yeah. The King Noodle in action right there, just showing you how it's done.
It's only 1-for-1 exchange in the meantime here, and with what you said earlier, I would be surprised if we see many banners. There hasn't been a whole lot of any conch or buff banner in Premiership this season.
Oh, we got a soldier in. That was just Lardox.
That's about what you said earlier. Like, that's how I expect these to look like at this level of play.
Yeah.
Everyone would have Fancy hits these. Yikes, this is a bit awkward all of a sudden.
Yeah, Voxtech just took one little peek around the corner and just gets like sticky pipe comboed into oblivion. Goes back to spawn. He could go sniper or something here if he feels daring, but now there's a soldier behind lines. Definitely don't want to feed to him by going sniper. Here's a Voxtech. He's gonna have to be careful. He just runs around a corner. You can get two rocketed. It's pretty easy to have happen to you. So you can see he's very apprehensive. And this soldier behind lines.
Big damage. Gets both demos down as well. They were at least ready to help out Philip, even if they were a second late. Horns behind, suddenly it still comes some ahead. Gets Foxy down as well. Has no health though. Needs to be real careful.
But he is in this nice little enclosed position, so Shocky can't even chase him down.
He very much can.
Well, not
but they get the Uber in the meantime as well. They want to just get in while the distraction is there, but player that is behind goes down pretty quickly, and the exchange itself does not go as intended. Drop another player in the midst of all of this as well, while Condor can just keep everyone alive pretty handily here. They had a plan, it just did not work out on any front of it.
Gonna go in through big door, and they're gonna find zero resistance here. Just taking mid for free. Numbers are completely even here, but no one in position to really contest this properly on MANDEM. So now it's just going to be another reset here. We kind of have like a cone trap. The cone gets blown out of there. So now it's just a sticky trap in the corner. I was getting all excited there, Tom. You know.
I mean, I hope at this level they check for this.
Yeah, but the thing is that cone is just like getting randomly blown around. So it's not like it's always there, and it's only kind of randomly obscuring it. So, it would be pretty cool if you just had like a random cone being blown somewhere, and then you had a sticky trap that just did some works and dropped the enemy medic, right? But they're rotating into big door now. It looks like they're getting ready to jump in some soldiers, maybe have the demo man sticky things out, and then run Shocky in behind. That seems like that's the overall plan right now.
It does feel like quite a development in playstyle from the Germans over the season, I will say. They play a lot safer now, and even yesterday, than they did in the early parts of the season, which might be a really nice thing to see in many ways, because it certainly shows that they're taking this game serious. It shows that, even if they can go for the funny aggressive plays and critically all the time on the weather, they know how to dial it back a little bit when needed. But we know that they can do when they have momentum as well, and that's the real threat right now. They have the slightly better position here, they have the lead. If MANDEM messes up a little more than they just did earlier in the exchange, this can develop into something really bad.
Okay, and goes into choke. Alright, he's in deep. He's pretty weak right now. Oh, not going to be able to really get onto Pickles there. Fancy is pretty weak though. He will survive, so it's a nice little opportunity. And we already have a soldier in Lardox. Oh, he gets body blocked pretty heavily there. Just
Nicky in his goal in the meantime on the medic gets the sword out, hits him twice.
What? Alright, and there's no big... Oh, there's no medkit there for Condog. That's really unfortunate. Soldier took it from him, so he's going to get forced out. So it's a good thing that he managed to kill 4 players before that happened, because now they actually have an opportunity to push last and actually force an Uber out of the Pickles if they're really fast. They're going to try their best here, but it's just Fiskov in, unable to get out alive. No one else really in, so...
Wait, when did Cairn start sniping?
I don't know. Maybe he's just going to toggle on here for the playoffs, I suppose. I've seen it like once this season, I think. But it's pretty rare. He's in deep, though. He's going to get flanked by the Devil Man.
He's in deep trouble is what he is. Will go down, lose another player on second as well. Voxy just way too late to leave on that one. No chance to get the force, and we're technically back where we started, but there's still players waiting to respawn on red, and they won't even get forward spawns, which just makes the situation a bit all the worse. You could exchange and just hope to get your numbers back up in the meantime, but looks like they're playing it safe all the way back, and in fact, their own mistake in Talash will lose the mid.
Oh my god. Fancy just walked into a sticky trap around the point here. Doesn't get blind dead on though, so he's gonna bless his lucky star there. Absolutely close to you. Han's gonna jump in, or he's gonna try. At least he gets kind of slips on a banana peel there, jumps into a wall and manages to just walk out, head hung in shame, but with his life intact. They're gonna rotate around into big door, maybe see if they can make a play here. We have Yeehaw, aka Nicky, trying his best here to gain some ground, and then Han's gonna jump up top, and he's now behind lines. It's actually kind of interesting. I've seen both Fiskov and Hans, they've kind of been favoring going up, basically going all the way in and then jumping up top like that. That didn't used to happen. This is a pretty new development, I feel like, and Hans is kind of winning this fight up top and putting on so much pressure.
Our Fish is out of ammo in the middle of all of this. This is so bad. They need firepower up in the big door area. They're losing Philip because no one's watching big door alone. It's just a demo man. And finally Fish gets some ammo, but it's too late. The demo is down already. He's still really weak as well. He will not escape. Now he becomes the medium ammo pack, but it's too late for him to have that.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of, can Condog even get out of here alive? I don't think so. He has to use to get it. So they have to just hold on top of this point and hope they can get respawners in, but they're just giving up so much ground on the flank now that they just have players inside, and looks like the Lardox pick is going to be enough. So they actually managed to hold out on that one. I think a lot of players would have panicked there, tried to escape, but...
Oh, they get Nicky with this as well. They had a bomb into mid instantly of this. They're just not trying to have to slow down at all. I'm surprised, man. Couldn't make more of this. Like you said, they lost so much space already, but they did not get into second. Falling back late will just make the Germans immediately punish, chase them back, and see whatever player is weak they can catch. Gets one at least, gets the midpoint back, and while the positions are trading here and there on the points, the Germans at least find their way back to mid every time, and on the one of Golden they have, that's maybe not the most comfortable position to be in, but certainly is still better than being back on second. So one step at a time, they're keeping themselves in this lead for sure, and with transitions as quickly as out of second to mid just now, MANDEM need to be careful what they're doing on their own second point now.
Yeah, Medic is holding pretty close, so if they can get KN in the way they've done a couple of times, that could definitely work out. You know, we've already seen his rockets are fully warmed up. He is absolutely ready. Looks like they're getting ready for a big door play once again. They do have KN in the choke, in the standard position that he's been in so far. And usually what we see in these situations is that they push in through big door, threaten to send a scout behind, and then usually KN comes jumping in. But let's see if they mix it up a little bit here, as Pickles has rotated around. He's got heals like all the way down in big door, and this time around Fiskop, he's going to just take the shutter door along with Shocky, so now 2 players are in behind.
Alright, still some big pressure and choke in the meantime. Soldier watching that can hitting so much damage on any of them peeking there in the meantime. Moxie wants, however, a little more than that. They pop Eagle in, try to take the exchange, and Boulder will not get a flash in time. Brilliant use of the scout going in there deep with the Eagle exchange. Fish behind does some damage, doesn't slow them down a lot, but just enough to get Pickle stuck in the shutter door. Will lose one more. Shocky on 8 will still go down, but overall, who cares if you're trading 2 for 2 can. Even still in deep, gets 2 more on top of that. I was going to say they can settle with the Uber they have out of this one, but no, they want the round.
Yeah, KN, he's actually doing so much damage here. If everyone else can just follow up, nice pipe there, boxing on the point. That's going to be a second round for the Germans. Really well played by them, just riding that momentum all the way into last, not letting up. And just, you know, you give them an inch, they take a mile. It is so crazy how they just keep playing this. And they're just in full playoff form right now. They're playing so well.
Very much. Like I said, right, this is not the fastest game ever necessarily, but certainly not boring with how they're trading these stamina back and forth the entire time. But one big mistake happens, and the Germans are all over it right away, not letting a chance like this go to waste. Bombs through already by MANDEM. They need something big on the mid-fight. Both soldiers going deep into enemy territory. Try to find any sort of damage they can. It's not a ton though. 3 for 2 trade, not looking in their favor at all. Fancy still claims one late, but not in a position to keep fighting from there. And aggressive mid-fight backfires for MANDEM.
Yeah, it does backfire, but not spectacularly so. That was pretty close to working. If they just got, like, if they had actually managed to get the Philip demo man there, actually Shocky's going to feed it. So any kind of advantage they might have had, that would have been neglected there. Actually, we have KN on Sniper again. Looks like this is just a thing now. Playoff KN Sniper. Soldiers in. Somehow manages to bounce off of the head of Condog and get nothing out of it. And Shocky, he was on Spy for a little bit there, but looks like he's back on Scout. I think he was just checking for some off classes here. But yeah, I think it would be a little bit too insane to have both a Sniper and a Spy, even though, you know, I'm a big fan. Basically, you can't look in front of you, you can't look behind you, or you're dead. But obviously, you have no DM prowess at all. So just going to be a Sniper so far.
I mean, for 2-0 lead, sitting on a Sniper isn't too bad as well, right? He keeps the other team in check a little bit. Probably slows things down here a little bit more, where we've previously seen some, like, just very happy attempts to just send bombs into mid before as well. Makes this whole thing just a little bit more awkward as well, and they're trying to spam him down, but it's a bit of a guessing game, because Kane could just hit the headshot here at any time.
Yeah, usually, like, the big thing that's the problem with Sniper is it can slow things down because it's very difficult to immediately take advantage of a small advantage, right, that you gain. But obviously, when you're ahead like this, that's less of a problem because slowing down the game is in your favor. It's just slowly taking down. And also, I will say, having a Sniper in big door like this, it kind of locks down that Sniper sideline, and then it's very difficult for them to actually stop you from running in behind through the lower door, and it's difficult for them to even spot that it's happening because of the Sniper. You don't want to peek out there. So Sniper and big door are completely viable. It's not like a gimmicky thing. It's not a super overly slow thing. It's just a nice play. It works out really well in Gullywash.
Certainly. So it's that's the Uber. They just pop into the Sniper. It's hardly even something you can call a force. They just want the exchange, but Condor very much seems to disagree with that notion. Walks back and further back. Has no help. Anything will do it at this point, but is anything connecting with the medic? Not really. They catch the soldiers in time. It looks like Lardok's still busy defending his own team in the meantime, but can't even really do that. Look, big damage. But the red team, Philip, still does so much work there at the big door area, and MANDEM pulling the emergency brake just still makes this a car crash anyway.
Yeah, like Condog actually, he went so far back. He retreated so far back because of how weak he was, leaving a lot of his team out to dry there. And man, they were just so laser focused on getting onto him that they didn't actually get punished for it. So we'll say that was a really well read play there by Condog, just retreating that deeply. And now he's going to be rewarded with an Uber ad, but they're taking a sweet time actually making it work. It's 90% on Pickles. He could just stay in spawn and get this, I think. So we need a lot of pressure on this point. And looks like that's not going to be the case. They're going to have to Uber here, and there we go. It's going to get popped out.
Will it be enough here? Position post-Uber is looking a little bit sketchy. Everyone's hiding in secret for the most part. Hit some cute damage there, KN, but no one else in a good position at all at the end of this whole thing.
Yeah, KN hiding in secret there. He's going to take up some time. Going to give Condog enough time to retreat back to his own spawn. He should be safe. But definitely, I think they thought they had a bigger advantage than they actually did there. So Pickles builds really quickly. Make sure he doesn't get picked off really quickly, and then they also made sure not to get the point capped out. They had a lot of stickies on it and players ready to contest it. That was enough to hold that. So great hold there from MANDEM. They have 7 minutes now to get 2 rounds to get back into this. That is absolutely doable. And they even have a bit of an advantage. I don't think they realize that they're holding really far back. But they actually have like a 20% advantage. You could push into mid with that, but it is not an easy task.
It will be difficult at this point, and the worst part about a situation like this is as well, the Germans just have a big enough lead. Losing control of the game a little bit is fine as long as it happens slowly enough, right?
Yeah.
The Germans just kind of fought a little bit of a choke, so it may be fine. They just earned themselves a big enough lead at this point. Well, MANDEM is under a lot of pressure to make this all work out in the last seconds, and we've seen them just now already take big chances, and none of them have really worked out so much. So what does it really take for them to break open these damages successfully? Because they tried so many different things and just could not manage to find anything. Still take the time to think this one through at least, which is good to see. They have the time to think a little bit here, but in the end something's gonna happen. They take the exchange once again, straight through choke this time around as well. Ken just sitting in the choke area and just takes the jump immediately. Pickles not ready to serve that. Will be traded down for the soldier, but who really cares? At the end of the day, they just need to keep themselves alive on mid at this point, and they can carry home this advantage all the way to last again.
Yeah, Ladek's in behind lines. Okay, he's going to come in there. Actually, it's a nice rocket there onto Phillips. So Demo went down. Actually, a lot of players down, but currently it's just Condog. He's got a scout that he can just use up. It is so difficult to win those kind of fights. Fancy, he is sort of on the flank. He's on mid, basically. I don't think they realize. Oh, he's going to jump the medic. Can he get onto him? Hits some nice damage. Ooh, close, but no cigar there. Condog again, surviving on 30 HP. This is a map has just been an absolute masterclass in Condog on how to survive in these really hairy situations. And even getting some compliments there from Fancy. Rare to see.
I mean, that matters very little right now. The only accomplishment you want to have out of this game is winning, right? That's the only one that really matters at this point. And with 5 minutes left to go on the opponent's last, the Germans certainly are on a good way there at this point. Last one's coming out, but I mean, you can sit on last all you want. It's not going to win you the game anymore.
Yeah, so they're definitely playing this for the clock right now, because they had a pretty sizable Uber ad. It was like a 50% ad, and they decided not to push on it. They're just going to sit back and force MANDEM to push out of last into them. And they can't really do that. So they're going to waste a bit of time here. They have 4.5 minutes now. And we are at a moment where, oh, Haun's actually going to get taken down. Really aggressive jump in there. Both soldiers down. And, you know, if they're being really annoying, they're just going to still keep doing nothing. That would be like such a 7 type play. They are actually going to take some ground and put some pressure on. Actually going to pressure the point. Kane's going to jump in here, actually get taken down. I think that's probably going to be the call to just retreat on fully. They still have a scout in water. Yeah, but they're cutting him off there. So 2 picks here. Could definitely work out. Fancy. That was a demo flank. Oh,
it's enough to get that. You gotta be careful now. Everyone so far the last. Someone getting behind is a real threat right now. Looks like no one can really get the backup going, especially not with the scouts going down and all of this. So they're getting on the last for now. Time is of the essence though. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left to get 2 rounds with, mind you, no advantage to start any of this off with as well, to even get the midpoint started.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes that's not a long time. They can't afford to wait for an Uber. They just need to get in there because right now, Soldier dodges every single air shot there. It's just wasted ammo. And now they're going to try to lock down this choke. This is going to be so difficult for them to walk in here through. But MANDEM, how much of a choice do they have? Can they actually afford to wait for their spawners? Having no soldiers to jump in and create space?
Should they even afford the time to wait for Uber exchange? Because, like, even those have just not been going well. The Germans just had vastly better exchanges. They always find the one guy off the beam instantly, it feels like.
Yeah, but when there's 3 minutes remaining, you don't have a choice. Like, it doesn't matter if you're repeating the same mistakes. You just kind of have
Well, you say that, but it's the Germans pressing the issue right now. They want the force more than anything. They don't give MANDEM even any time to think about what the right play is. They will have to use. There's no debate about it. This Uber is coming out into mid. They're letting him have it, and now they're sitting here with Uber. And without soldiers, actually do want to just get back in here.
Yeah, Shockey's backcapping while they're blocking mid with Uber. And they are going to come back here and clean up Shockey. So he is down. They're going to have to keep on pushing this, though. 2.5 minutes remaining. Time is just still ticking, and they're going to run in through this choke. Actually, doing a pretty good job of getting in there. Hans going to try his best to put some pressure on, but no. Oh my god. This Lardox getting air shot again, but this is such a bloodbath. An absolute just fight, but Piggles goes down. That's actually really huge. Condog survives once again. This man, Connor, he is just not dying this game. And when you're trying to slow things down, killing the enemy medic and keeping yours alive, that's a really good sign. That's how you win these things.
Are we sure this is Condog playing? Because usually when it's a Condog team, he dies and then his team wins instantly. Is how I remember these things going. But now he's still not dying and his team is winning. This is the best of both worlds for the Germans.
I think he's going to save his real power for the grand finals. You
Maybe.
know? But right now, he's just content playing really well. As we're about to see an Uber push into. Or a non-Uber push into a full-on Uber with a Sentry and Pyro setup. This is going to be real rough to look at, I think. As they just don't have much of an option right now. They have to go in.
And the option is you just go point. And that's exactly what we're seeing. They're just sending people onto the cap and see if they can make it work.
God,
and for what it's worth, gets pretty close. And they keep trying. They don't have any other options at this point. There's just 2 people underwater building the Uber. And now this Uber exchange just has to get to the cap, right?
Yep, there's no other option right now. We need to get in.
The air blast?
Oh, Lardox getting reflected there. And just this Pyron point, everyone's just piling onto it. They know they just have to delay it. And it's even a last hold right now, but they don't even need to hold last. They actually just need to hold last long enough that you can get pushed for the second round. And they've done it. They've actually won it out. And there we go. And Conduct says that was his first death. We're going to have to double check that on the logs, but I kind of believe it.
It may as well be true at this point.
Yeah, it feels correct. So that's almost more important than it being factually correct.
Very much so, but well-earned victory here. Like I said at the beginning of the match, these 2 teams have played Gullywash before earlier in the season, and it was a 5-1 win for MANDEM at the time. And I don't know if that really just means that the Germans are stepping up to the task of maybe MANDEM is just not anywhere close to their game today.
This felt very different from what we saw against Forfens yesterday. Forfens, they were pressuring the Germans quite a bit and failing last pushes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In this game, it really felt like the Germans had much more control. We were mostly on MANDEM's half of the map for most of the time. I feel like they had MANDEM had maybe 2 or 3 last pushes, but it wasn't huge advantage. We just won mid and we're rolling into last type of pushes that they then messed up. It was just, they really struggled to gain control. So very well played there by Vertus Liest Doof. They're going to be rewarded with a 1-0 lead here, and they're 1 map away from making it into the grand finals and face off against TLR.
Very much. Still one big dog waiting in the finals, but for now it's the Condor coming out on top. Well-deserved win here. Up next will be Metalworks, so map we've seen before this weekend for sure. Very curious to see how these 2 teams will do that as well. With a match like this, maybe the Metalworks game will be very interesting, but only time will tell how that might look like. And Condor was right. It was his only death. When it was already over.
Yeah, Piggles only died 4 times as well, so it was a relatively low medic death game overall.
It wasn't even that slow a game either necessarily, but yeah, that's honestly surprising. But if one mech dies 4 times and the other ones, it's still a 4 times difference in the end. And if you look at it that way, that's quite a big gap.
Yeah, very, very big advantage there, and KN having a beast game as well. You can kind of tell it was 21-19, almost 300 DPM. Gullywash is a really good soldier map, but even then he was far outpacing everyone else. If you look at his damage,
I think Fish as well. I mean, obviously Robostats are never going to be pretty, but I think Fish just impact-wise had like a really good game as well. Hit some really good shots, played the flank pretty much perfectly whenever it needed to do anything in the offense as well, and just enabled his team perfectly. There was like the one push where he just went behind, barely got any damage, and it just turned like 3 people's heads. He hits one good rocket, and his team is just in on that.
Yeah, Shocky and Boxing also both having basically identical stats, both having really good games. Shocky having more like behind lines kind of crucial plays, pulling them out of position, and then Boxing just protecting his medic really well. Like usually when your medic dies once, your pocket scout is doing a good job, right? And yeah, I just want to point out just how much KN out-damaged everyone. He had 297 DPM. Number 2 was Haunts with 231. That's a huge difference. That is such a big difference in KD or in damage per minute. That is nuts.
Okay, I did try to fact check, but there's a couple of things missing from the archives on ETF2L because the website broke the one time,
Yeah.
It might also have been a while since Voxy made Grand Finals. Not that long in the grand scheme of things, but it might have been since early 2021 at the time as well. So, it's been a minute. That was on. I think it was Faint with Mac and Nikki at the time.
Yeah, that makes some sense. I actually forgot he played on that team, but pretty interesting to see. But yeah, and Condog obviously, I think he win with Ascent. I'm thinking he did. He's been around as well. Lots of experience here, and MANDEM, they're kind of choking it away again. But this was on Gullywash, not necessarily the strongest map. And now we have a much more slow-paced map in Metalworks, I feel like. We're going to have some stalemates going on, and perhaps...
I hope not.
No, we never hope that, but I'm thinking that's what we're going to see. That has been a trend. Like most of the Metalwork games that I've seen have been like 2 or 3 rounds maximum, and then it just takes forever to push in onto last. It is such a bore. This is one of my least favorite maps in the entire map.
I can't wait for Granary to be back next season.
Agreed. I actually kind of like Granary, but oh well. Metalworks, it'll do. We can have some good fun on this map as well.
Can we?
I choose to believe you, Dom.
Maybe they can. I don't know. It wasn't like the fastest game ever just now. Like we were stuck in like mid to second transitions a lot, but still a lot happened on that last match. So
yeah,
nothing else. They will certainly take their chances here. It being not Gullywash, I guess, will make things a lot harder. You don't have the option to go behind nearly as easily on this map, so teams will have to get creative.
Yeah, this is much more. I don't know. Yeah, I want to say more stalemating map. You have this big open area on second that's very difficult to actually get into, and then medic can still stay relatively safe. And even from like second into last, there's this giant corridor indoor area that's very difficult to like jump through very quickly, and you can't do much. You can absolutely still sneak a scout in from underneath. I feel like that's probably your best shot at being sneaky with a scout, and then obviously in transition you can always do something, right? It's never not completely an option. It's just less likely here as it is compared to
I really gotta wonder at this point, how many players in Prem do not have Condog muted in servers at this point?
It's a good question.
Because he's always the one that's typing the most. He's currently offering them a map talk. He also did point out a stat that we didn't say earlier, which was the fact that Pickles took about 7 times his damage.
Wow. I didn't notice that at all. That's crazy.
Oh, no, he took less damage, apparently. Never mind.
Okay.
Which it makes even less sense, actually, if you think about it, because he died more, but that's BM for you, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Condog, he had a lot of moments where he barely survived, right? Like, for instance, that mid where they bombed in 2 soldiers on him, right? You saw eyes on like 10 HP. It's one of those really crushing ways to lose a mid where you focus really heavily on getting that medic, and then because you don't get him, it's just such a punishing just disadvantage that you get for having to deal with an Uber and you lose all your players. So they're just going to get a free push into last with that full Uber. Very, very difficult to deal with. So now my question is, I saw Hans try to do some fast rollouts in the scrim before this. So the question is he going to do the Bruceman like quick rollouts onto the demo man a couple of times maybe? I'm kind of interested to see.
I think it will happen. The question is just if it's going to be happening from the get-go. If they're starting like a little bit more traditional, more safe on the soldiers for like later bombs and just will pull it out when it really becomes time to switch things up later down the line.
Yeah, it definitely seems like both teams prefer to do a slow mid first just to see what the enemy team is doing, and then they try to adjust after that. So pretty interesting to see if that's going to hold up here in Metalworks or if that was just a Gullywash thing. Because Metalworks, it is one of those maps where you can absolutely just send 2 soldiers into the skybox and they can kind of see a whole lot, and then they can choose to commit or they can double back around and go back to their own half of the map and then reset and come back in again. So you can actually bomb them without committing soldiers on mid, which is pretty interesting. That you actually have that good of a wall to jump off of. That's an option. But we'll see how they do this. As both teams, they're just getting ready here, talking it out, and they've almost had 6 minutes now of just warm up where and it looks like everyone's actually just here fragging. So I'm not sure what they're waiting for.
Good question. I guess debating land rosters is what they're doing right now.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
Just trying to get ready in the meantime.
Yeah, I guess we should mention that we have the Poland land coming up in February. It's going to be quite a long time after this season ends, but it is maybe a bit of a preview of a lot of the teams that might end up attending that. I think it's going to be the grand return of probably Witness and TF2 Easy, along with these new school teams that are playing in this season. But
yeah, that's going to be a whole nother proving ground here. Any of the rosters that might be going in Premiership this season. Last map was... okay, Process is a fairly fitting map, right? It might not be as exciting these days anymore as it might have been in the past, but, I mean, it is proven ground for most teams, so it should make for a map, knowledge-wise, fairly even matchup, you would think.
Yeah, it's the most popular map, and it is for a reason. It is pretty good. And if nothing else, it's pretty exciting just because of all the ways soldiers can bomb in super quickly and do these big suicide plays. And even scouts can go in behind and cause some issues really well. So, good map. But right now, MANDEM, they're going to have to earn the right to actually get to that, as Metalworks is the next one up here for them.
Maybe they are having the map talk right now, just not with Condor.
yeah, could be.
For what it's worth, I don't think we know who picked these maps, right?
No, we don't.
I don't think we have that information. Here's the thing, you were correct. Gullywash looked pretty good for the Germans yesterday, so maybe they're just riding the high of that, but there is also just the known fact that last time these played against each other, Gully was the win for MANDEM, so it's really hard to say who actually would have picked this map specifically in that regard.
Yeah, you could logic it out either way, and it's very difficult to say without having inside information as to...
I guess MANDEM lost against TLR on Metal, so who knows?
Yeah, it could be that they're not really that comfortable picking it for that reason.
But they just didn't want to see, like, Koff more, which they also played and was a nail-biter 3-2 at the time, so probably MANDEM just got the bagel out of the way, or something like that.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it is pretty conspicuous that we don't see any Koff maps, right? We actually have 2 this season.
The Germans were like the team to pick Entropy this season as well, so that's probably also one to avoid against them.
Yeah, we've actually seen that map surprisingly little this season. It feels really dumb, actually, that ETF2L has this pick ban system in the main season as well, because it just kind of means that when you get these maps that people don't really know or maybe don't like as much, we just don't see them as much.
Like, I checked for fans yesterday before that game as well. They played Gully in one official before playoffs.
Wow, yeah.
And that's not even a bad map, it just never came through, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just don't like it, and maybe they just got lucky playing against some other teams that didn't like it either. But it could also just be a pretty random thing, and it could come back to bite them later on. Which
is why I'm glad I watched some lower divisions. I got to see a lot of Sultry and Entropy to get a better opinion on the maps for the most part here. But for now, it's Metalworks, a map that I guess in some degrees used to be in a similar position as well. It used to be played in mostly just America for the longest time. Now it's here. We've played it for a while, and some people like it. So that's good, I guess, as we're heading into this second map of the semi-finals, or losers finals, my bad. MANDEM on the hot seat now. They need to win some maps here, but they're not winning the mid-fights by the looks of it.
Yeah, Hans goes for the fast rollout, kind of fails it, goes for it anyway, and just gets immediately air-piped there. Larynx is in behind lines, but everyone else from his team has just been pushed out. So I think he's just kind of stuck at this point, but he's going to go for it anyway. Jumps in, goes for Philip. Baldur is in here as well to try to just do his best to put on pressure, but they're not going to be able to get anything. So Hans, once again, isn't this exactly what happened on the last mid as well? It was a lot slower, but basically Hans got killed and then the mid was over.
Here's the thing, right? In like regular season games, you can talk about like, oh, this might be getting to nerfs all you want. It's not that high stakes game in the end. Quite yet, obviously no one wants to lose them, but it's affordable, I guess. And now we're in a position where this loss decides everything for MANDEM potentially here, and they've been in this position before as well. This would be a repeat choke if it comes true as well. This is where nerfs 100% might just matter a little more than any one of these players likes to admit.
Well, they've got double soldier bomb in here, and they're actually going to get the counter sack here. And meanwhile, they lose Shocky as well. They lose Philip as well. Oh my God, it's just going to be Conduct trying to run out, but yeah, he's going to get cut off. There's no way out here. And even Voxtake can't be able to get on the Pickles here. So that's a perfect win here for MANDEM. They're in such a strong position. They're in the cap mid. They have full Uberat to work with. Spawners are not in yet. We have KN as sniper in spawn, but this forward snipe position isn't that great. Of all the maps in the map pool, this forward spawn is just not that powerful. You don't have that big of a view. It's already stickied off. You can see
automatic just goes right side, and this is completely safe. Doesn't even go point.
Yep, just Conduct has gone crits, as basically he's going to be his chance to go for it really quickly. I think it's actually a pretty decent map to go counter crits here, but they're going to have to deal with this. But first, there is a pyro just blowing people into the air here as they deal with the sentry gun as well. Lots of knockback, but this is going to be enough here for them. Conduct's now on 80%. They get down Lardox with this heavy. This is actually working out pretty well, and I think it's just slowly gonna fizzle out this push here. Shocky doesn't quite focus onto this heavy, but okay, looks like he's gonna get his 5k. Never mind, gets stolen there by Fistcuff, but they're holding this. But now it could actually get awkward because we have Conduct stuck on this crit streak.
The question is if they know that, right? You can see that very much, but as I always like to point out, while it is visible, it is a very minor detail to overlook in the middle of a fight where you have no reason to actively look at the other guy's medigun. So they might not be aware of that. They have to expect they have Uber by this point, of course, as well, but they might not be positioned around Creek specifically at any point during this, so gotta be a little bit careful here. Getting early kills on the flank, however, helps a lot. They're so aggressive over there on alley, and just denying KN already.
Yeah, really well played by them here, and yeah, you are right. They are obviously gonna try to lock down these chokes to make sure that the Uber doesn't come through, and that also helps against crit streaks where you just spam them out really heavily, right? They just die because they're not gonna get Ubered. But man, it is going to be so difficult. Now we have Pickles on Uber as well, and this crit streak, it is getting increasingly awkward.
This is not doing good things for Conduct's stats, though. He's already a minute into the game. He already died as much as last map. It all.
Oh,
being stuck on crit against Uber might make things a little worse on that department. Bombs are coming through. They're looking for a force that really should never happen, considering it's crit streak, but I guess they just now for sure don't know that, actually.
Yeah, that kind of confirms it, right? Because you don't make that play against a crit streak. You don't need to, you just push. But they're going to come out here, they're actually just going to Uber onto it and gets the soldier down and scout. Okay, they're going to just have to run in. They're actually going to pop the counter crits now, but it is too late here as Conduct will get taken down. They are getting some picks here, so it's not a complete win right now here for MANDEM, but just the fact that the Demoman survived for that long, Shocky will save it a little bit. But Pickles still with the Uberat, not the biggest Uberat, but enough to perhaps give them a dot push into last, potentially.
Certainly enough to matter, yeah, that's definitely maybe just enough to make it count just now. The last one's coming out, though. Last time was enough to defend before the Uber came up as well, so this time around, with a smaller margin on the Uber charges, maybe they can still just hold on to this just fine. I see a pain train on the blue team at the very least. Maybe both. They were in spawn for a second there, so it'll be interesting to see.
If they want to push on this,
It's an awkward point where the paint turn certainly can matter. It doesn't cap as fast as like a Gullywash, a Badlands, an Entropy, I guess, but with the cap area being really tiny, you just shoot someone barely into the sky with your rocket and you're immediately just capping again.
Yeah, on these dot pushes, it can be really good. They're going to go in now. If they can lock off the point and put soldiers on the point, yeah, look how much cap time already, but unfortunately the soldier doesn't get flashed out. The soldier jumps onto lots of cap time, but the counter Uber does come in. Doesn't quite work out there. I feel like one flash onto the soldier on point there, that would have probably been able to save that push pretty well, but as it is, they're going to reset here. Now there's probably not going to be enough for a dot push. They are technically going to have the, I don't know, 2 or 3 second difference between the two Ubers being popped to push on, but that is so little that it's almost not even an advantage worth talking about. So we're going to go into the first stalemate up the map where they're going to try to push in here onto last. And this has always been the hardest part about Metalworks, to break this last hold. And they're going to have to get a little bit creative.
Very much so. I mean, this is the nice part, I guess. They've been just playing this map the other day, right? They have a lot more sample size to go on what they need to do here, what they need to fix potentially as well. What we're learning now is that maybe your demo man should stay alive, would help a lot going into this fight as well. Block off everyone as much as they can. And the captain, once again, scary as this heavy, you just get shot up once by a rocket, but it's still not quite enough. Not without lacking this much firepower. Barely could even get past the gun to begin with. At least they get canned on the chase. That helps a lot as well. If that's all got through, that would have been scary. Pickles wasn't healthy doing any of this. One bomb getting past the soldiers there would have been a disaster potentially. But for the meantime, the Germans don't like the chances at last. You can't really blame them. We talked about stalemate map, and this will certainly just confound that notion.
Yeah, Metalworks is a pretty difficult map to push out of just because of that tiny entrance, right? It's pretty difficult, or pretty easy to cover all your entrances to spot players out. You don't get back cap that often on Metalworks, but you have to make it out through these tiny entrances, either through the main point or through the shutter door, or you have to go through low ground, which is terrible when pushing out. So pushing out of Metalworks last is pretty difficult if there's anyone alive to actually punish you for it in any kind of capacity. So Nikki has actually gone on Sniper. That's going to be how they try to break this now. And I don't blame them. Box6 kind of suspects it though. You can see he's spy checking in spawn. I think they know there's a sniper and he's going to go sniper himself.
What better way to deal with this than the guy who can just not even have to walk into the sideline, just sits down, has it already for the most part. Sees the shot coming, but Nicky will hit it first, and now that might open the floodgates a little bit here. It's still a bit tough to get through the spam, but one less worry on your minds getting into a position to maybe get a good snipe going as well.
Yeah, Fiskop getting pressured a lot here on the flank. Nicky's going to see if he can make it out there, but no, Fiskop manages to get back and push him back in time. And then Nicky is in pretty deep. No, doesn't find the angle. You can kind of tell that he wants to go for this hero play. He is not afraid to just sacrifice his life to get in here. And he is also using the backpack that gives him the extra scope stability. Like very often, if you get hit by spam or like scattergun shots or whatever, your cross is going to jump a bit. It's going to be enough to make you miss, perhaps. But with the backpack, that doesn't happen as much. So that makes these hero plays a lot more consistent.
Certainly so. Time is running out though. You can sit here and snipe comfortably all you want. You gotta hit your shots sooner or later. 50 seconds left. Overtime if they reach the cap, but they're not getting close just now. Once again, the sniper's reigning supreme. This time, Voxy gets the kill and just slows things further and further down. Don't want to take a fight that starts promising with one down as well to just make it worse from the get-go.
Nicky is going back to last onto the forward spawn. He actually switches off of sniper. He just gives up. And I don't even think there's like man threats or anything. So they're just going to do one last hurrah, one final push to see it off. Otherwise, we're going to get the round reset here. And they're just going to go full on stock. Just get out there. But they need to be pretty quick. Otherwise, the Ubers are just going to run out. Okay, here we go. Ubers into last. And it gets nothing at all, Dum Tum. But the counter push is going to come in here again now. They want to get in for sure. Nicky's going to be the first target here. This heavy is just eating up so many players. Nobody gets onto the point in time. And that's going to be the round reset here. Unable to break this last point.
There you go. Back to square one we go all this time. It just cannot be done, it looks like. Once again, it feels like the game yesterday, right? Just, it's this time it's MANDEM struggling to last against the Germans, not the Frenchies. And Either way, the result's kind of the same. Nothing will come out of this for a whole 5 minutes. Not due to lack of trying, that's for sure.
Hans is
But
trying again. He's getting the speed shot perfectly, but unfortunately he didn't predict where Philip was going, so he's not going to get much out of it. Unfortunately, though. Actually hit a beautiful shot. Oh,
and more damage coming through. Big damage on those ones. Okay, second choice to charm on those. Get some good damage there in the end. Shocky Philip down. Mid-fights for the Germans. Still not going great. At the end of the day, just now attempt by Horns from the backlines. That one, unfortunately, will fall short. Conduct pretty weak. There might be a chance to chase here. Some sticky's doing it there. The medic snipe will do it.
Pickles with the snipe across the point.
And suddenly, Conduct's at 3 deaths already.
Yeah. You know, with the rest of the team can't do it, might as well take matters into your own hands as a medic. The Pickles coming up with a big play, cutting off that escape from Condog. And they're going to be able to go through the flank here. KN tried to be sneaky on the flank, but Nicky just snips him out, takes him down. That's going to be a second point for free with a full-on Uber. Like a very, very big Uber to go into last with.
And this is exactly what I'm looking for. Sometimes you just need to win the round on second. Right? That's the easiest way to do it. Who needs to break a last hole? Just get something before you even get that far. Get this advantage and see what it does. However, it's not like we haven't been here before. They beat at before into last. This has to be a good push right away. Gunpyro deny a little bit, but they get both done in pretty reasonable time frame here as the point time is getting started. Players have to come out of spawn to block this off with whatever they have here as well, but the captain's not too urgent just yet. Bombs, on the other hand, coming through big time. Scouts across the cap as well. Just looking for damage instead of the cap time here, and it might still not quite work. Scout on point on the medic will get that kill, and that's just about enough. Balder and Nicky running in deep will just about make this work.
Yeah, not the prettiest push I've ever seen, but it was just enough. They got enough momentum out of those early kills, getting the sentry and the pyro down, and then just pressuring the point. It was enough for them to be able to come in there and clean up with their scouts. So 1-0 here. Pretty quick round coming off of that. Like, it was just getting the medic on that retreat just did so much for them there. And those are the kind of rounds you get sometimes. And Hunt, he's still going for these quick rollouts. He failed this one though. But the positioning right now for MANDEM is really good. They have them in the midpoint basically. They're just slowly funneling in here on the German team though.
Alright, well, maybe one midfight will finally be enough to start things off on a positive note here for the Germans. Get this small reward at least, and we'll play it down as well. It should be second. I don't know what last necessarily, but at the very least put them in a pretty good spot for now.
Oh, Hart's gonna go and see if he can block mid. Okay.
Not happening.
it's just the scout, Hans. What could go wrong? It's just a scout class.
It's just a scout on high ground.
Yeah. Come on,
it's so
Hans.
easy, just hit the guy.
Yeah, he actually gonna eat an upwards rocket there as well. So he's still behind lines, but so far unable to find much success here. Maybe he's looking for Fiskov, but I mean Fiskov, he is just so vigilant. He knows exactly what to expect here. As we're just settling into a normal stalemate setup right now, but we just have this one soldier wrinkle here behind as Hans. He has just been spotted now. Oh.
Can't get in just yet. Still has the pack to farm at least and stay healthy, but
that's a weird play, right? He just jumped onto the point. He was like basically going, "Hey, look at me, look at me," but there was no pressure coming from the front at all while he was doing it. Kind of feel like that should be the case, right?
He's just taking turns back there, just jumping in again, leaving again, every 10 seconds just until the pack is back. The awkward part is where you just can't die for nothing. At the very least, you do want to trade, so you're just not needlessly play down on us.
Yeah,
he's done the same thing 3 times now.
Yeah, he's just boosting his health pickup stat in the logs, right? I'm not sure what good that does, but it is through the roof right now. That's hey, you know, maybe he's gonna find that opening at some point. I could actually see if they fail something here. Oh my god, nice air shot there onto Lardox. He will survive though. As finally Hans goes down, he goes for the play. As he finally gets dealt with here. Boxtech, he could go sniper now if he wants to. We've seen this before. Maybe he's not going to do it though. Nope, not this time around. They're content to just play it out to stock so far. So Shocky actually overextends a little bit here. Gets taken down so well. He's going to go down as well. KN will die here. Are we actually going to see them push out of last, or are they content to just let the clock run out again?
I mean, certainly the team on last will always be benefited just taking it easy, I suppose, especially if the midfight's been actually okay for them. And in the meantime, it's just the Germans having to run their heads into a wall here a little bit longer. Speaking about the stalemates, I guess, from earlier, this is certainly kind of what I expected to see out of this map. This hold has been very solved in the past few years.
Yeah, I really do want to see...
Ooh, nice pipes.
Yeah, Boxer goes down. We're going to see Soda jump in anyway, just barely dodging. Oh my god! The perfect rockets out of KN. Just takes down Piggle so easily. That looked crazy. Hans tries to go for Condor
Hans
as well.
almost still gets the force as well, but this will not be enough.
Yeah,
Condor doesn't use these. I guess Beaver does Piggles, but it works out for one better than the other.
Yeah, Condor, ice in his veins there. Piggles. That was crazy. That was just literally 2 rockets onto him. Perfectly just predicted whether he's going to surf up and just hits him there. That's crazy. And they're going to be rewarded with a full Uber advantage push here into last.
I like this building setup over here.
Under the bridge.
Like, the dispenser, the teleporter. It will just waste someone's time.
Yeah. Alright, unfortunately...
Even just a little bit.
Yeah, the teleporter wasn't up though, so they're not afraid to run through it because they're not going to get dropped, right? They're going to run down Baldo immediately. Lana should die as
Gun
well.
is just farming them! They saw every building under the sun and just forgot to check for a sentry gun.
Yeah, that's couldn't have gone any better there for that sentry gun. That's nuts.
Where did they think the sentry gun was?
I'm not sure. Maybe behind the point. It feels like that's the only place they didn't really properly check. But that would be a weird place for a sentry gun. So.
Well, that and under the bridge, clearly.
Yeah, it's the troll sentry under the bridge. Classic. Pickle's full Uber now just built here. There's going to be about 50% on Condog. They might just decide to pop out here, but if they play it a little bit slower, they're not going to have to pop it. But they are going to have to pop it as they just go in super deep fancy. So far in. And as long as the rest of the team can actually follow up, it's going to be fine. But they actually lose a lot of players here. I don't even think they're going to be able to hold on to this mid. Haunt is in behind though. Oh, gets onto Condor, gets him. What a flank there from Haunt. Saves everything. And now all of a sudden, there's this fully healed Nikki just cleaning up. That was a monster flank coming out of Haunt's.
Yep, Cristiano Ronaldo does it again, puts his team in a really solid position now. Condor spawns here with 26-27% disad on Piggles. Enough certainly to matter, as we've seen before, so once they get into second pretty cleanly, this should not be much to worry about. There's still a couple of people lurking about lobby, but not too much of any action will happen over on that point. They're falling back to last. They want to just make sure they can confirm themselves at least a good last hold, if nothing else, and build as much as they can in the meantime. Certainly don't want to fall behind any more than they already are. On the Ubercharges, gun is up, pyro's up. Has been enough at least 1 or 2 times to hold this, but MANDEM might be getting to a point where they finally can break these.
Yeah, they could also just decide not to push on these because the Uber is not very big in their head, but they are going to go in here, take the sending gun down pretty quickly. They're actually putting time out to the point here with the scout. Does get saved here by his medic, but Piggles immediately gets taken down, unable to retreat in time, and no one else is really coming back in. Hans defies my words there, but unable to get into it, and Yeehaw gonna try his best to make it onto Condog there, but unable to do so. And this is a really successful hold here, and I think you just go out here while there are no heals. Right?
Yeah, very much so. Condor got good advantage out of this one too, surprisingly, so want to take some chances if you can help it, but the spawns are coming back. It's taking a long time to get out last, but the last Horn bomb coming in. Still get some good damage here. Demoman will go down. Second Soldier bombs following through, seeing if they can get anything done with these Horns once again. Brilliantly timed off the distraction Lado presented. Onto the combo, cleans them all up. Fish with the last ditch effort does get some good damage. It's the medic going down. One scout's pretty weak, but there's no one to fight them.
Yeah, the spawners are too late there. Wow. It was that tiny door we've been talking about that makes it so difficult to push out.
And what did we learn today, Vida? Push equals big mistake.
Yeah, never do it. Or at least
not on the map.
Yeah. Can we get a map maker to put like an extra entrance? You know where the window is? Just make that a door or something.
Can we make a map maker to just make Gullywash again?
Yeah. Just name it Metalworks Golden Edition or whatever, and just make another Gullywash. It's fine.
Well, I guess MANDEM is very much in favor of this being not Gullywash, I would imagine. They're looking pretty solid right now on these last pushes. It took a while to get there, but 2 have worked now, and maybe that's just all they need. However, mind you, yesterday they were 2 up and still managed to lose a map, so if the Germans clutch up, this might still be doable. Connacht is in such a bad position, though. Both soldiers are on top of him. They clean them up, but much too late. Trying to pickle skill. You just gotta hit your shots faster now. 3 games 2, but their health is really bad on red.
It's 2 scouts against the world here, and so far it looks like the scouts are winning in classic scout fashion. There we go. Shocky goes down. Surely Philip's going to lose this, even though he has full health. Hits 1 decent sticky, but it's not going to be enough. The scouts are too strong there. And it's going to be another mid-fight win here for MANDEM. What they really need. After all, I almost feel like the most significant part here, Domsom, is just the fact that both medics died, which slows down the game and makes it so much more likely that the team up is going to win.
Well, usually it's medics surviving that slows the game down, if anything, I would say. It's really just the fact that both died, I guess.
Yeah, right.
More than one or the other. Because, like, now it's just, yeah, it's still even. Regardless, if both men live or die, it's even well afterwards as well. They're rushing a lobby there. That's a funny one.
Yeah, they just jumped players through, got onto Fancy. He didn't have his sticky trap properly set up and just immediately got taken down. That should definitely open up the opportunities for a push in here, as Ladok has already been pressured out quite heavily. He's not going to be able to jump in on them properly. Even Hard gets it! Oh my god, this is just completely falling apart. Please, MANDEM, don't do it again. This could not be it. Okay, Conduct, he's actually going to force it just to, in case that scout decided to just hit every single shot. It's going to be Fancy alive, but I think it's just going to be all the way back to last here. That was just a momentum Uber coming out of Conduct, and they're going to get second as well. Question is, are they going to be able to do anything on this last point?
Beta, we've talked a lot about like random miscellaneous stats in this game. Nobody has ever choked 2 separate 2-0 leads on Metalworks in 24 hours.
That feels like a true fact, yeah.
Surely that will not happen now.
No. There's no way. Alright, Shock is going to get taken out.
That's fine, they don't even have it.
Yeah, it's not a disaster or anything, but...
It's just going to be a little late.
Yeah, it's going to make you calm down a little bit here. MANDEM's like, oh, okay. But actually, they're just going to Uber in right now. Anyway, who cares about that scout dying? There's so much time on the point, but Moxie, he actually didn't get saved by his mate. But he's just going to land on top of Pickles and take him down. And he's still in the play. He's going to get on the point as well. Pressuring people onto it. We have 2 soldiers. They're going to keep on jumping in here. Soldier on the point. Oh, gets reflected here. But Shocky, can he clean up? He's got 2. Can he get the 3rd? He can't. Shocky does it again. 3 quick kills, 2-1. Oh my god, is it happening again, Tom? I'm so scared for MANDEM.
You don't need to teach an old dog new tricks when the old tricks still do just fine. Shocky cleans them all up beautifully right there. I was worried they were just focusing point a little bit too much after they got the first wave of cap time. And just started to all trickle in one by one on the cap there in the end, but had enough damage in the bank still at the tail end of this one to clutch this one out, and it's the makings of a comeback at the very least, but the mid-fights have to look clean from here on out.
Odds with the fast roll on once again. Doesn't really get anything out of it. Once again, guesses the demo positioning wrong. So I guess install wallhack there, Hans, and you'll do much better on these mids. But either way, nice jump in there from K and takes down Pickles immediately. He's on the demo man as well, putting on a ton of pressure. But right now, it's like MANDEM, they have really good positioning on this mid, but they don't have a medic, so they can slowly get edged out.
Maybe so still stuck in. They're deciding to pop in here very quickly. Don't want to waste much time with that. Being stuck in a really bad position will make you make that choice pretty easily, pretty quickly here as well. Do you get 2 kills of that? So recruit potential is a little down the drain, and they're not actually behind on Ubers as well. Using quickly there, probably the best thing they could have done. Just ends the fight pretty much immediately, and they don't fall behind on the Ubers. Well, very easily just could have been sitting there forever, debating if they want to use it or not. Maybe waiting for respawn, maybe just trying to hold forever. They've taken the easy way around. It wins the mid fight at the very least, and that's really all they need right now.
Ian's going to jump in very aggressively, and end up on top of those crates. And Fiskop's going to come in here second, take another look, just get out of there. Looks like they just wanted to see if Pickles is in a vulnerable position. They don't really find him. And so if they can escape with their life, they're just going to do that and reset. And we're going to slow down once again here, as both Ubers are going to be in effect. But yeah, like Philip didn't really give them much of an opportunity to use late on that mid. I'll say I almost got a heart attack just looking at him walking through a door with a soldier standing right above him. So yeah, he had to get popped on there to get saved. which they do. So let's see what they decide to double soda bomb in here from MANDEM. And oh my god,
it's a disaster.
Punished.
It's a disaster in the final 5 minutes of the game.
Oh no, Baldur even got piped as well. I don't understand how this keeps happening. KN tried to go for a flank, doesn't manage to catch them in time. But again, it's just somehow MANDEM is just the worst team in the last 5 minutes of the match.
The force coming through pretty early. Are they using it to this? Or are we just waiting? They are just trying to get out of here fully.
Oh my god, they got the force and they didn't lose anyone. It's happening.
KN's gonna die. Yeah, he admitted defeat. Okay, they have to wait for KN. He probably could have just went a bit faster to get out of there quicker. But in the end, it's still a big advantage here. That was really nice. They were so focused on the main door, they didn't even see Fishkopf come through the flank as well. Doing all of this really well done by everyone involved on the German side as well. And now this could save them here from at least having to go down into 1-1 per map. Into map 3 early and could maybe just drag this out into Golden Cap, if nothing else. Get themselves a second chance here.
Well, this time around, they can actually see where the sentry gun is. It is out in plain sight. They're going to go in here, and Kondok... Oh, he's going to drop Philip, though. That's a really bad start to this Uber here. So they're going to need a lot of kills to do this. And they have no time pressure either. Lada looks like he is going to get taken down there. Boxing will take him down indeed. But it's going to be a 5-on-4 action. Kind of push Boxing. He wants to pressure the point. And Pickles actually gets taken down. This is huge from Shocky. They can actually afford to retreat right now.
Fancy down as well. Voxy clutching up just now. Pyro goes in but gets nothing. Fishkopf on beam for so long that now Voxy goes on point. Hawkstorm in the combo. Who cares about the combo kill? Well, there's a guy on point. And Voxy cleans up everything this last push. And Philip just gets in there at the last second. I don't know if he damages as well, but who cares? He saw his team succeed without him, and that's really good. That was huge by the Soldiers and Connor. All of them just lived for so long on the verge of a couple of arrows. Really well done by Connor, KN, and Fish to just be able to live for this long, to present Voxy with the opportunity to just clean up everything.
Yeah, indeed. And looks like Hans, again, this time around, he's going to guess it correctly. He gets Philip immediately. He will end up trading there, but that one finally worked out for them. We've actually seen it on basically every single mid Hans has gone for it, and this is the first time it's worked. This is a good time to clutch it out here for them. As MANDEM now, they're going to have a nice little advantage here going in onto the second point. They have a 1-pick ad, and Baldur just eats a ball there from Shocky.
I bomb KN around the corner as well. He's looking for the medic. He gets one decent rocket. What's the next one there? It goes through just in time!
Unbelievable. Just barely lives long enough to get that final rocket off.
If I'm on red now, I don't even want to like win in regular time anymore. I just want to get to the Golden Cap first and get a reroll on the mid-fight. Just extend the pain. As Hans is actually on Spy. This is the first time we've seen this, really. Maybe it's the only time they need it as well.
Yeah, he is perfectly positioned behind Kondok right now. Shocky is standing in the way between him and the medic, though. As they've spotted him. Oh.
Another good day for Cristiano Ronaldo. Will go down. Hans defeated. They're falling back a little bit. The threat to just win before the Golden Cap is still there. Pickles does not have, so even keeping second is a bit of a tall order.
Yeah, very much. So you can see the holding in this door. They're kind of conceding the second point already. When you see people that far back, it's just, you know, if you get lucky, you perfectly spam out the medic and he pops.
One that? Okay, that's cute. That was barely an ad push anyway, so that just gets cut short right away.
Yeah, it might just be a matter of they're just going to take it easy now. They're going to wait until they can't possibly get pushed back onto their own labs, and then they're going to go for an Uber exchange and then go in for the final push. I think that's what we're going to see out here, because at this point, it's so unlikely that you get pushed all the way back to your last, so this last attempt is basically free here for Werder's Liest Doof. This could be how they get into the grand finals.
Maybe so. This is all they have, 40 seconds, all or nothing, and they were switching to heavy for this one.
The KN heavy. Oh my god, this is like a perfect Enigma type play. As they are going to go in here and take down the second one pretty quickly. Baldur, okay, he does get saved there by Pickles. But they've actually done a really good job here on the German team to stay alive. And now they're going to have this heavy weapons platform just making his way in. Just slowly edging forward. Who's holding last again here? It's a heavy on heavy battle. And looks like it's going to be Baldur that actually wins it out on this one. Just barely. Nice pipe there from Philip. He's going to need a couple more of those, though, to actually get this. It's 10 seconds remaining. I think we're going to go into Golden Cap here. What a wild game we have here, Tom.
Very unfortunate. Fish's first bomb to last at the very beginning of the push just kind of was flying a little blind. He didn't really have a good eye on anyone going in. Tried to jump left side, didn't see anyone going right side. They just rotated away from him as well, and he just couldn't get any damage with that initial bomb. And with the fight this close, just getting a bit more damage at the beginning and certainly would very much make a big difference by the end. A bit of unlucky choices there at the end, but they got it this far. And it being this close to a disaster for MANDEM already does not bode well for the Golden Cap, but at least they get this second chance. They get a bit more time to figure things out, and by God, they need it.
Yeah, if you just look at the logs, you can definitely tell that MANDEM was the better team throughout most of this map, and then it's just the last 9-8ish minutes, they just fall off a cliff.
Well,
it's kind of crazy.
You just got to be the better team at the end. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's why we score things by points capped and not by damage numbers or something like that.
Yeah. All MG mains in absolute pain as you say that, but it is true. It is actually the point cap that matters. And they're going to go live pretty soon here, Dom.
Damn, so. Condor died 9 times as much as last map. That's crazy.
Yeah, and KN did so much less. He went 10 and 21 and got 158 DPM. So he's like almost half DPM, but he has his last map. So that might actually be a thing, right? Where they
well, he did also get a whole lot less healing this map, so that plays into it. He just he got as much heals as Fish got, basically. He just was playing basically Roma too.
Yeah, he's gotten some really good medic picks, so it's not like he's had a
meanwhile,
bad map.
Meanwhile, Lardox is just a pocket soldier like crazy on the other side. This map.
Yeah, just
very interesting mix-up to see here actually into the second map. I wonder why that is. And stuff like this is no accident, right? These things don't happen these things only happen on purpose, like changing up your heals priorities this much between maps. I wonder what it makes Metalworks be that much of a different map for them in that regard.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because he tends to stand around the soldiers when you're holding chokes. You just tank them really heavily, and then the demo man can kind of go on his own, right? Like the demo man holds the little door, and then you hang out with the soldiers and buff them in big door or whatever, not in the flank. Sorry. Maybe that's where it comes from, kind of, because you can kind of leave your demo man alone in a lot of places on Metalworks because of how tight the spaces are. Like a single stick trap can just do it out. But we're about to have a really important mid fight here, Tom. Last time around, we saw Hans finally clutch it out. Let's see if he can do it once again, or if it's going to be the Germans that complete the comeback here and just crushes MANDEM's dreams of actually getting further than third in the playoffs.
There we go. This could already decide it all here. Big swing on the mid fight would be huge. Bombs in right away.
Oh, he
tries to get the kill once more. Will find the double man here. Can they recover from this one? They're already so weak as well.
Yeah, that's actually nuts. And the Germans, they don't want to give up though. They're in here, but the Scout's going to eat a pipe. I think that might just be too much damage that they've taken right now. And they're getting aggressed on super hard, and their positioning is just too bad, and they're actually going to get out here. And Hans, once again, finding the best possible moment to just perfectly predict where the enemy demo is going to be and just picking him off at the very start of the mid.
Well, as so often I like to say, sometimes being fast in demo man is just not the play to make. Being a fast demo man to mid sometimes is a bit overrated, especially in situations like this.
Yeah, just waddle, man. Just take it easy.
Just be on beam when you get to mid, you know?
Yeah. I'm not bad at the game, I'm just being strategically slow. Everyone's gonna accept that. Look at his Hans. He's not done here. He's gonna go for gold.
Well, it didn't work the first time around, but we have a bit more distraction going around
he's
this
in a
time
good position.
well.
He's been
Gets
spotted,
pistol out instead. Really good damage actually. If one of the soldiers just got onto the shutter door, this would have been exactly what he needed.
Yeah, that was a solo play there. For sure, that could have been a much better result if they had actually taken some more space, just like you were talking about. But as it is, they're going to be in one man down. Looks like the Germans are kind of content to not do too much here and just let it play out for a bit. They're not going to send in a soldier of their own. They didn't quite find the timing to do so. And Hans, does he have any more gimmicks up his sleeve? No, he's just going to go from here on out. Which, to be fair, it's probably what you need to get in onto the medic on the second point. I don't think Mansion's going to do anything for you here.
Yeah, it's also on last one. You also have to get past maybe powers and guns. more likely. And there's a lot heavier resistance anyway.
Yeah. Kayan goes into the skybox, just took a look at it. Lodok's gonna basically do him one better, and oh my god, the soldier gets in so deep there, Hans. Like 1 second away from getting a second rocket off there that could have done a lot of damage. Unable to do so though, and now it looks like we're gonna get this aggression coming out of the Germans. See if they can get onto the enemy medic, maybe get some more picks here, but the hold is just so solid right now out of MANDEM. This midpoint is just not fun to push into, and once again, the Germans are going to have to put their tail between their legs and go back to the second.
Not where you like to be, but it could be a whole lot worse. Still plenty of time left in the Golden Cap before we are even threatening to go to any sort of new mid-fight, so not too big of a rush just yet. Still though, pressure's on MANDEM, right? At the end of the day, they are presented with a disastrous storyline in front of themselves, and the narrative shifting even heavier against their own favor. Want to avoid that at all costs here. Gotta keep yourself composed though against all these odds and just play well. Getting in here already, some decent damage getting it there, and lots of space as well, mind you. They're having most of this point just completely to themselves with these bombs coming through.
Yeah, Kondak, he was just so far in behind the shutter door, and they took too long to actually kill the soldier, so they just ended up losing the demo man there because he wasn't in a position to heal him. And now we're going to get another soldier bomb in here. It's just going to be a big loop-de-loop. And it's actually doing so much damage there. Lodok's perfectly played by him. They're going to get the Uber Force out. They had to pop there to not lose too many players. And maybe they're going to regret doing that because Piggles has not popped the Uber yet. And now they're going to have to go through this tiny little doorway in order to get out of it. And they're actually going to jump a soldier through, but KN not able to really get much done here. Nobody else is able to make it out either. So this could be MANDEM's chance to make their comeback a reality here. I think it finally dispelled the fact that maybe it might be playoff frauds.
This is exactly what they need to do. At coming in from the left side, charging in, getting a lot of space, already not a ton of damage, having the back. Here's the first one to focus though, get that guy down pretty quickly. No heals either, lose their own mat on point as well, but they force people onto the cap. No good help between the three of them really, and the scouts are just running in there mercilessly now as well. Getting the damage, and a few more sticks on point will just about be enough for MANDEM to take the second map. Just barely. And keep themselves in this match.
Yeah, it really feels like it was just... They finally nailed those mids at the very end and managed to just barely clutch it out off of the back of that, but it wasn't pretty, that's for sure. And we're going to go on to Process here. It's a very different map. It's actually pretty cool that we get Gullywash, then Metalworks, and then Process, because all of those maps play quite differently, in my opinion. They're very, very different in the way that they feel. So it's very difficult to carry one result on into the next map. It's just going to keep on being different, and you're going to have to adapt to what the enemy team is doing individually and even in every single map.
Yeah, very much so. Process being the most played map in the game at this point, I think, at least on sixes anyway. So having a big gap in map knowledge now as a team on this one would be obviously a very good bad look, because you just lose an important game. But in general, just Process of all maps, just how can that be still your weak spot? But it happens. Sometimes you're just really good on some weird maps, but it's just Process or something like that where you struggle a bit more. And that's a tough one to have as a weak spot here. Obviously no one banned it, but with there being 2 KOF maps and 2 new maps, certainly some contentious maps probably got banned instead first. And Process probably feels like the safest thing to let through for map 3.
Yeah, right. It is the standard map of competitive TF2 these days. It's the one that everyone knows in like the back of their hand. It's basically been figured out. It's just a matter of executing, right? So it's always this weird thing where soldiers tend to do pretty badly on the map, but you can launch yourself in so deeply and so quickly that you can make some really big plays happen. So yeah, you're going to go like 2 for 21, but those are 2 really important medic picks, and maybe you got a few forces in as well. Otherwise, it's just going to be scouts feasting, and yeah, it's also a pretty decent sniper map. You can kind of go sniper on all the points.
Yeah, it's fine for the most part. Some people have tried sniper to mid before in the past as well. Most of those are long gone at this point, I think, those sniper to mid strats. But you see it every once in a while.
Yeah, it's kind of fine. But if the opponent know that it's happening, you just very quickly get punished for it. And I feel like these days you see a lot of fast soldier rollouts where they don't like all in on the demo man, right? Like that usually doesn't happen anymore. It's much more you just go in very quickly, you see what's happening, and then like you can steal the kit or you can spam them out and choke, and then you can kind of adjust accordingly to what you see. But that also works really well against sniper because you can see the sniper and then you can go in super aggressively and he's going to be standing and choke, and it's very easy. You just spam them out. So probably not going to see that too much. But you're probably going to see a lot of really big soldier bombs. I've always thought Fish Cup was really good on process. KN should be as well. Haunts, I expect to see him come screaming through some chokes here. And then it's just going to be a matter of can they stop Shocky from going behind and being
very much, nuisance. Yeah. I mean, speaking of the map being around for a while, this man's been playing it since the inception of this map as well, so anyone here should know how to play this map, but that guy, you'd hope, certainly did not have any really bad moment this match in general, so these Red Scouts, nothing to slouch at as well, especially once Voxy gets an opening with the beam as well. Speaking of the beam as well, talked about the difference on like heal priorities last map just now being very interesting. I do wonder how that will look like now in a map like this one too.
Yeah,
how the Lardox KN comparison will end up.
Takes a lot of heals, and I don't think that's going to work out very well on process in general. Like you can obviously still just have him stand next to you on Spire when you're building or whatnot, but in general, you tend to heal scouts much more heavily. And so this could very well turn into the Balder versus Vox Tech show, right? And then you have Nikia and Shocky running into each other on the flank every once in a while. It should be pretty interesting to see. Demo Men, they're very crucial for locking down these chokes and maybe even denying some bombers every once in a while. But I kind of feel like outside of Metalworks, where you have so many sticky traps that you can catch people out with, even in Prem. Process is probably one of the other maps where Demo Men have so many options for good sticky traps there, where you just see people get picked off every single map a couple of times by the enemy Demo Man. So it's going to be very important that you sniff those out and don't have your pushers just killed dead in the track before they even start just because you didn't properly check the random little rock or something for a sticky trap.
Certainly. Will be quite a map here. At the very least, right, you think about this last point, the way it's like set up on the Hold on Last is a lot like on Metalworks, but it's still just so much more approachable in the end. You have the front wall gun dispenser set up with the medic forward as well, but you don't have to quite go as deep into the point usually as the attacking team to actually get any sight on anything. It makes this a lot easier to at least get some handle on the situation on what's going on last. So very interested to see if the stalemates will still be quite as painful as they were last map for the teams pushing, or if we see immediately a bit more success going around with attempts into last as there was on the first map, maybe.
Yeah, in general, I'd say process, it's easier to get back capped on it than Metalworks, but it's also easier to push out when the enemy has some sort of presence.
It is like a surprisingly generous push to make out of last, actually, I will say.
Yeah, but you can definitely still have a scout hiding on the boilers in lobby or running around you. Like it's a pretty big lobby area. They can hide in one or two and just run around the corner at just the right time where you don't see them. Right, so there's a lot of entrances that you have to check and make sure that there's not a scout running in. So in that way, that there's more ground for you to cover when you push out, but at the same time, you have more entrances to get out. So if there's like a demo man or a soldier holding close, you can just go for the other entrance and you can get out pretty easily. So in that way, it's easier to push out. So a very different dynamic. These mids here, we could definitely see Haunts go for the fast rollout again onto the demo man. As I said, we usually don't see them be that aggressive anymore. People tend to just like spam them out a bit and get a marginal advantage, get some positional advantage, and get ready. But we'll see. Both teams, they've kind of favored these more passive mids, in at least the first one so far in this game. So maybe we're just going to get the classic rotating mid, right, where both teams just rotate to the enemy side and get caught in. That's always
maybe.
fun.
I mean, that has become really common over the past few years. It wouldn't be surprising to see it here. Not like the last 2 maps really loud for that. Enemy side mid on Gullywash, I think, has fallen very out of favor in recent years. And on Metalworks, it never really was a thing too much. On a map like this, or like Gully or Sunshine, however, certainly would expect to see some of that. So we'll see which approach they are taking into this last map of the match. It is losers finals. The winner of this will make it to grand finals. TLR are patiently waiting for their opponents to join them later tonight. It has to be one of them, but which one will it be?
Yeah, Fitzkopf actually gets caught out. Okay, he gets a really clutch arrow there. He was about to die, even though he was really far forward. Philip gets jumped as well by Hans. And right now he's looking really strong for MANDEM. Their positioning is so good. Catching out Fitzkopf like that early on did so much good for them here. And it's been Hans, the other 2 mids that got picked off. This time around it's going to be Fitzkopf. And both medics survived. Some pretty standard mids coming out so far. KN, again, going high. Just doesn't want to let them get in here on this choke for free. But Hans actually going to go down. Oh my god, Fancy snipes down Condog. How did that even happen?
Well, sometimes you just got it like that. And if you get to that point at the end of a match, it might be all you need here. Looking good for the start of map 3 on the MANDEM side of things. Get the vet kill there, exactly what needed. And this is a big advantage to have in the last already. And getting an early lead could be huge.
This is just a classic Condog dies and then his team immediately wins, right? This is just a setup, I believe here. Dum-tum.
I don't know, usually I don't trust a team winning when they kill Condog usually, so I don't know about this one.
They're getting set up here near the boilers. They're going to Uber in the Demo Man and the Scout. They're going to focus down the center gun immediately and try to snipe off all the stickies from the point, but Nicky immediately goes down. The second Scout, though, gets so much time on the point, but nobody from the German team has even died. You see Fancy, he's still hiding in. He can jump the point, and he's going to jump onto it. Oh my god. Nice pipe there from Philip. Almost enough time, though, that Fancy actually managed to get it. It's a valiant effort. Hans gonna see if he can block this point, maybe get a sneaky pick, unable to do so. And there we go. I told you, it was just a setup. It's just a trap by Condog.
Yeah, first point, Curse of Condog, you kill him, you will lose. Secondly, he was switching to Crit Quick and switched away to regular Medigun, and now he only has 10 ahead.
Yeah, the good part is that they don't know he did that, so they just like assume he's gonna have a big rad.
Like, you can just bluff the fact that you have 100 right now, as long as there's not a chance for Pickles to get Solemn Vow's side on you as the medic here, it's gonna be fine. And this is roundabout where the Uber advantage probably would run out anyway, slowly but surely. A Brave team would maybe try to like bust it instantly and pop through right away into second, but it's reasonable to assume they might not do that as well, so they get all they needed out of this fake advantage.
Yeah, looks like Philip is kind of playing near launch pad. It's a bit unusual place for a Demo Man to play. And they're going to retreat back here and go back here. Maybe buff off some soldiers and send them screaming through this choke. This is the absolute classic setup here, where you can send in a soldier first, you can loop around, and then when everyone's looking at him, the second soldier comes flying through the choke here. But it looks like Fiskop's actually going to play in the flank. There's no one even watching it. Boxtay's going to get taken down. And actually, Uber has been forced as well. Conduct went down to like 10 HP. And was that just another trap that he almost got killed by?
He was ready for it. He had the trap prepared. Was looking for the chance. He high bumped in KN, gets some cute damage, but doesn't really stop anyone. And let's just continue his push into mid for the side on blue. Still a bit of a fight back here. Shocky with some cute damage against soldiers, but where's the cleanup? No one's dying.
Yeah.
They're all so weak, but no one's getting hit one more time they needed it. And it's just hard to justify staying in longer to hit those, because the other team has Diva, and if you stay any closer, they will just use it instead.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation to actually navigate properly, where you want to force out the Uber, but you also don't want to give away your life for free. Right, because if you force the enemy Uber and they kill 3 players, well, then that's just a good Uber, right? So, yeah, can't overextend too much. There's a center gun going up on last here. Shocky has it to level 2 already. Just getting ready for it. But oh, he's actually moving it, and the soldier just jumps in and takes it down. So now we have like the moving sentry and the heavy over here on the other side. Fiskop's going to get jumped in the bunker, but so far he is safe. Actually, Lana's going to go down as well. So this pressure, unable to make anything materialize. We have Boxtech and Shocky poking out here, see if they can make anything happen. They're in actually pretty deep here. Look how far in shot he is. He's basically running into the enemy demo. And now Fishkop's going to jump in as well. Gets air shot there. Somehow survives it though. But this is so much pressure. This is actually kind of brave from the Germans.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this push being doable on the last. This is not exactly the circumstance I expected to see it come from, but still managed to pull it off quite nicely for now. One last ditch effort, bomb comes through. Condor will not use the air shot attempt, will hold onto this Uber, and is going to get rewarded big time. And honestly, I can't really blame you. Like, there's a chance you at least force the opponent's Uber as well, but you will lose the fight if you actually have to use the Uber every time, I think. So just trying to hold and just hoping for the best is just the better option. Because if you drop as well, it's obviously bad. But using there is not going to get much better.
Hans never hits Steve, is what Condon says. No problem. I'm just going to do my little shimmy midair. It's not going to hit it. He's not going to be perfectly predict this. And he gets rewarded for it. So he holds on to it.
Well, for what it's worth, the only one that had to fear Hans today, like more than anyone else at least, was Philip.
Yeah, Philip doesn't like Hans, and Hans definitely doesn't like Philip. He just keeps barreling onto him here. Hans, and by the way, on the flank right now, along with Nicky. Nicky might just run in here from lower. This is a pretty classic position where you have soldiers doing a lot of pressure, and then when you do that, the scout just runs in through lower and gets onto your medic. It's a very powerful play, but so far the Germans they've been able to shut it down pretty well. Unable to get in here at all. He's gonna go for some more buffs and maybe see if he can find that one perfect timing where it just works out.
Maybe we'll see what comes out of it. There's the bombs coming through for now. Looking for the guy on the flank instead. That was just a funny little sneaky kill on the Roma. Gets Fish Cup down. That's one to start with. Can they extend on this one? Well, not while this order is weak, so this will slow things down a little bit. Might not enter chances though, peeking still, making them at least worried about anything, but I'm not finding a whole lot just yet.
Yeah, slowly but surely, they're doing quite a lot of spam damage, and they've got some okay amounts of presence in here where they can jump in a soldier. And it looks like a soldier is going to jump in here, or at least pretend to do so, as Condog. He took some damage. Okay, here comes Nicky. He finally ran in through lower, and actually he's going to be able to get in behind, and Philip takes so much damage. Doesn't get killed though, but Nicky is still in behind. Oh, runs into a soldier in a closed space. Goodbye, my buddy, as he is dead. And now it's actually a pick advantage. And KN, he likes these, right? He's just been jumping in with no regard for human life, as so many times. Yeah, he's in again.
We've got to take our chances somewhere to break open the situation. Hit a lot of damage already. There we go. Border will go down. Counter attempt by Lardox comes through, but just sniped out there by everyone on the team. Not even letting them have a chance to get close to Condor. The Met will stay alive, and that's the point right there. Just took a bit of a chance here, and happily so as well. And they could take some space into mid. They are all over that one. Nice stuff by the Germans. Get themselves the midpoint at the very least. Now it's their time to see if anything into second might work. And immediately starting it off a lot more risky than...
Oh my god!
Huge air shot by KN. Traded out, unfortunately, but maybe there's still something to do with this one. You have some good damage on the double, and Fancy really weak as well. Lardox wants to just get on the medic, gets the drop as well. Traded out there as well, and they can't clean up Fancy either.
Oh, this was looking so good. They are actually getting a lot of... Oh my god, then Fancy just air pipes KN.
He hits everything. This is just... Welcome to Beater's new frag movie, chat.
Yeah, this is where everything goes crazy.
Fancy hits every pipe.
Yeah, the game all of a sudden went absolute bananas. As Fiskop, he tries his best to be reasonable and actually get out of here instead of getting double air shot by someone. He's going to succeed in that, but yeah, unfortunately, I think Condor took out his arrows or something where he shouldn't have. It was a pretty bad drop. So, unfortunate for him. Luckily, he's Condog, and usually his team wins when he drops. And KN, he's trying to be sneaky here, but everyone saw him trying to go for that spot in the sky.
Let's see, how much can they convert of this one, though? This has to very much get the second point cleanly, which it does. Advantage to last over, slowly but surely running out. And that's going to become a problem very shortly here, because, yeah, Condog at 90, gun is up already as well. It got them good mileage, but at some point the fun will end. And now in the last mates that we talked about so much, in theory is certainly much easier than Metalworks, but easier and easier, not the same word at all.
No, indeed. As Hans goes in here, gets hit pretty early on. Unable to get onto the enemy medic. They're not even close, but they do have a second soldier in. The center gun is there on the middle of that point and not able to escape there. The central sentry gun there on the point is really nice for deflecting soldiers onto enemy medic. But oh my god, Fancy with another sea trap. I can't believe. I don't think he saw that at all. So, like, Fancy's sneaky sense has just been off of the fucking charts this map. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I will say, I think he had, like, a little rough time on Gullywash, but somewhere in the middle of map 2, he figured it all out.
Yeah, he just feels it tingling in his, like, finger, and he just deads it perfectly. Right? Just the middle finger, it just feels that little tingle, just pops it. Perfect kill every single time.
Alright, well, the setup includes the sniper now as well. Voxy does not want him to even look at this last point for all too long. Maybe not a bad idea, if this is what happens when they get a chance to, I guess. But there's still a lot of time to go if they want this to reset whatsoever, and it's really on MANDEM just to see how much they can do. And this being a process, plenty of chances to be taken here if you just manage to get past the gun first.
Ooh,
or the sniper, actually.
Yeah, Hans goes down. I think Hans might have spotted where Condog is holding, though. He was holding near the dispenser in the middle, which could be some good information that they can actually build on here as they go in. You can actually go man threats here and, you know, jump into the sentry gun, but it doesn't matter because you're just so close to the medic that it just works out for you. Hans, it's just going to be on gunboats, though, but if they actually managed to spot where Condog was holding, they could do it. He hasn't moved at this point, but I suspect he's going to go back to that hold once things calm down.
Will go down.
Oh,
that's the start. I mean, it didn't take much for them to leave last earlier, so maybe we'll see some more of that here as well. Yeah, Kane just wants to fight, and Hans is not ready for it, and there's the snipe coming through with that as well. Nicky with a chance on the medic will not hit it, and hit twice with hitting them all.
And Pickle's getting jumped as well. Gets forced out of it. This is a complete disaster. Like, somehow, like, if Ken survives this,
the soldier lives this too. This is insane.
Unreal. Dude, the Germans have been so good at pushing these small advantages where they just have one pick advantage and then you just push out and win.
Honestly, it's just impressive, right? Like, anyone who's not pushing out of process last is just, they make them look stupid in hindsight now.
Yeah, truly. Okay, Condog's gonna do a bit of a pussy pop there. Got jumped by both soldiers. I don't blame him too much. They were very close to him. But he's going to do that, get 2 soldier picks out of it, and they could potentially keep on pushing here. Kayan goes down, though. Carry down. They might just slow down as well here. So Pickles, he doesn't have that much of an advantage. You can just take it easy and let things equalize and then take it from there.
Certainly so. There's still a spy at play here just to check what's going on. And there is stuff to see here. There's the off-class coming out as well, like we talked about earlier. There's just the occasional KN sniper that we saw earlier. After Voxy sniper, you'd wondering why would this guy be sniper, but I guess they just wanted 2 scouts. More than a soldier bomb extra, I guess, and see if that helps. And for now, I mean, the results speak for themselves, regardless of how much the sniper had to do with that. Lardox will go down, and this advantage is dissipating as we speak. Yeah,
in general, you always want 2 scouts instead of 2 soldiers. However, I will say on this, if you want to force out the enemy medic and gain a lot of space, 2 soldiers could actually work out better than 2 scouts here. It's just a matter of once you get what you want, you don't have it in. Oh, look at that. Just gonna force on a soldier basically here. Oh my god. Pickles in so deep, he can't get out in time. That's huge. And Ken even gonna just surf out of here. Philip might die. Actually gets arrowed. Everyone's
huge
cleaned
snipe.
up. The DM fight, it's so real. Everyone just jumps into towards Condog and get picked off. And right now, who would have thought MANDEM is just getting out DM'd in these DM
fights? With a team
but
like this, yeah, that's kind of crazy, but I mean, if you look at the names already, I guess it's not that surprising, actually.
I mean, I guess it's just been MANDEM's thing, right, where they just have...
It goes down from the get-go in this fight. You can play this so relaxed now with Medic. Actually, maybe you should hurry this up, actually. They're starting to lose. Hold up.
Yeah, everyone's damaged. Nobody wants to push anymore. This is not fun anymore.
Oh no, they're scared.
Yeah, I think they could have done this if they just kept on pushing it, but they didn't know quite how weak they were. Spawner's about to come in here as well. Balder going for the sentry gun. That's the bad call. And there we go. It's going to be a cap out. Shocky will manage to do the cap. And yeah, trying to build up a sentry gun there definitely shows that Balder wasn't quite on top of what was happening. I don't think he was expecting the repush after that, but yeah, clearly that was what's going to happen. And that's going to be 1-0 here for the Germans so far over MANDEM. And it's only 15 minutes remaining in the map. That took half the map to get that done.
But it looked really nice at the end. So maybe that's just the warm-up they needed here in the end. Quick bomb by Fish right on top of the medic, and Philip cleans it up for him. Beautiful piece of teamwork there as well. But he's KN as well, and suddenly they're down numbers just a bit. Player behind delays the exit just enough to get Condor caught in the middle. And they cannot escape. Nice stuff by the blue team to just make sure they get this match when they needed it. And it's going to be a mid-win, actually, in the end. After all said and done, who cares if you lost your medic first, as long as you still get the other guy.
Yeah, both teams limp away from that mid-fight, not feeling too happy about it, but definitely, you know, a mid-win is a mid-win. They have one more player alive there for MANDEM. They managed to take this mid. Both medics spawned at basically the same time. This is where I would expect Condor to go crit streak, but no, not this time. I guess that was too predictable. All right. As that was Soldier jumping in very aggressively here, as KN goes back to his medic, and he's gonna come in here. Actually catches out this scout and Balder, and both players managed to go down on the flank, and now it is wide open. It's gonna create so much space, and Germans, they've been winning these small advantage fights, and now they have a big advantage. What's not gonna happen now is KN is trying to shut them out, unable to do so, but the mid is still falling to the Germans right now.
Yeah, it's still just going 1 for 2, which is perfectly fine in the end. On the side of the Germans, take this point quite nicely. Advantage will run out here for our Ubers will actually just each reach 100 at the same time, and maybe they will just take a chance on MANDEM. They can't just let the Germans make the plays of one player up the entire time. They gotta take some chances as well. Struggled a bit with it on Gullywash, but maybe Process can be a different beast in that regard. Gets himself some good space before anything gets really counteracted too much by the team in red. But Uber still comes out a little earlier by blue, and look, the health, it's not pretty on many people. Anyone finding an opening on any of these guys is just going to be a disaster pretty quick. And MANDEM realizes pretty quickly, just run most of them out. One soldier still stuck in and actually wins their fight as well. Horns with the first kill of this one. Big fight by Phil though, and suddenly you just have no stickies to support any of this over long distance.
Both teams now just sizing each other up. It's a bit of an uncomfortable situation for both of them here, but I think the Demo Man advantage could just be enough here. Going to be a big bomb in there by Lardox, takes down Condor, and now it's just going to be a matter of can MANDEM just survive the counter push in here, as Shocky and Boxing are just going absolutely wild. Nicky has gone down as well. Just where your Demo Man trying to defend his medic. Pickles looks like he is going to survive here, but he's going to have to retreat all the way back to last if he wants to hold on to this Uber ad. Second point's going to fall, but for how long is the question here, because there's going to be no heals out here in second.
Yeah, we've seen them push off very little out of last before in red. The blue team can't really slouch in that regard either, but the snipe was already there. KN almost sniping more than playing solo this map, it feels like, but maybe to good effect. He gets one guy pretty weak. Condor will go down though. They're just sending the soldiers in deep for that. Will get the kill. It's one for an exchange, so maybe they can still get some damage out of this on red and make themselves be known here. Body shot on Lardox twice. Takes him out the sky, that's all you need here as well, and then the man just walks through the sideline at the worst time. And now everyone is just stuck here, weak, with a soldier slowing them down and a scout and a sniper in front of them.
This Balder here, he's trying to get through. Nice fight there. Man, KN is just absolutely saving his team right now. He was not the problem, I suppose. At least that's what he looks like he's trying to say here.
I don't want to like point fingers, but some other pocket soldiers currently bottom scoring.
I mean, a soldier bottom scoring means absolutely nothing.
Which is why KN is on sniper instead.
Yeah, your scandalous like accusations there will not have
I didn't accuse anyone, okay? I just pointed out a fact.
I
the
don't
map
think
isn't over yet.
Alright, it's even Ubers. We have two snipers here trying their best to make something happen out here. Sentry gun is being absolutely harassed, but slowly it is going up. Once the sentry gun gets placed in the middle, the time for pressure is kind of over. So nice little momentum pressure going on right now for the Germans, as just a reminder that they are ahead, so they can afford to slow it down, but we're probably not quite at the moment yet where they want to do that. 1-0 is nothing to be ahead.
Yeah, especially with 10 minutes left in the game. So, ooh, that was a huge chance, and it's not enough. It wasn't even a 150 body shot. You hate to see it. Every time I see someone just take a less than 150 body shot, it just makes me sad. Because that could have just killed, you know?
Yeah. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he just wanted to absolutely make sure he got the kill by going for the headshot and then he missed. Either way, we still have the sniper duel going on. You see a very close hold right now for Pickles, and the center gun has just now gotten up here, and he's putting up the dispenser armor as well. And this is the absolute classic here. So KN, he's trying his best to find the angle that will get him that sideline onto Pickles, but yeah, this dispenser armor is so obnoxious to deal with. If you crouch inside of this dispenser, you're basically invulnerable here, but Hans, he can't sit in that dispenser. So now a soldier has gone down, and this is going to create more space for others. This means that maybe the center gun's going to get taken down. It does indeed. And all of this is just ways to create space, and eventually Pickles could get pressured out here.
Philip tried really hard to get an angle on the medic as well, but people kept spamming in the meantime. Couldn't get much out of it. Don't want to lose more than one here as well. It's very funny that I wanted to see how the pocket soldier comparison works out on this matchup now, on this map. And instead we're just getting a KN sniper game.
Yeah.
Just a complete curveball in the third map of this best of 3.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We hadn't really seen it, but we saw like him play sniper once and just go on a wild flank and immediately die to like a demo man behind him,
Gullywash
right?
lobby or something, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he did the exact same thing on Metalworks as well. But either way, this is just a perma sniper game here. So he is actually going to lose the sniper duel to Yeehaw. Going to get taken down. Hans tries to do his best to capitalize on it, but unable to make it out of the doorway. As the thing have just equalized out. Will he go sniper again? Because if he does, he's just going to show up in the logs as a sniper.
No, he's back to soldier at this point. Gotta get some more spam in here maybe as well at some point to help get the gun down, enable Philip a bit more to get some angles on the medic.
Yeah, they might try to go for like a spam onto the sentry gun and then have the demo man.
Oh, or we're just exchanging. That's also an option. Many people don't like to hear it, but you can just do this.
Yeah, this is like...
Should you? I don't know, the demo man just died, so...
Yeah, I don't know if you should send in your demo man like that and just alone and die. But maybe this is just the bait. The absolute master bait.
Not yet. I mean... Yeah, they're not taking a chance on us. There's like a minute left for the round reset. Maybe they just do want to go to mid. I mean, there's 8 minutes left. Waiting for a round reset isn't pretty, but you could do it.
Yeah, that's fine. You could absolutely do that. No problem here at all. Not even mad. As this time it's Hans on sniper. That's weird. Like usually having soldiers to deny these entrances is so good on process last, but hey, if you can pick off players, why spam them if you can just kill them, right? I suppose. Works out. That's
okay, minute left.
Yeah, it's gonna have another opportunity to do something spicy.
It's not time for sniping though, right?
No, and not a banner either, so it basically man threats.
Oh no, it's heavy again.
Oh, it's heavy. Of course it's heavy.
They have so much less time than last time too, is the problem.
Yeah, like they basically need to go in and just exchange now. Take the sentry gun down. Maybe send players in behind to oh, they're actually getting time onto the point as well. This is working out pretty well for them.
20 seconds. Mind you, that's overtime. You do have to keep this in mind in this situation. Easy to forget. This doesn't happen at all.
It's a heavy fight once again. Boulder just turn around, take down Shock immediately, but actually
Philip hits
this heavy is doing so much work. Okay, he finally gets taken down, but this is a bloodbath. This is a scout on the point. Soldier, he just needs to splash everything. Oh no, Fish Cop hit the point
It's just
instead.
too little too late. I mean, easy to say now, but Voxy just probably should have stayed a bit further back, maybe.
Yeah,
like, they had the overtime to play around, they could have just sat back a little bit more. So unfortunate, Philip hit so much damage at the end.
Yeah,
but it just
Fiskop hit
wasn't enough.
Missed some rockets there as well. If you just hit one rocket that splashed all of them,
yeah,
right.
Maybe, and then the scout just pops off. As it stands, a lot of time wasted for the Germans to not get the 2-point lead, and at this point, 2-point lead would have been just tentatively game over. MANDEM now with one last chance.
Yeah, and they have plenty of time to do it as well. Oh my god, this Devil Man gets sent skyward and just picked off there by the scouts. The aggressive play out of the soldiers this time around. Fancy very aggressively goes for the medkit and absolutely get punished.
Oh, this is not exactly what they wanted to see on the mid reset here. If you go through the trouble of sitting on us this long, you better be able to show something for it afterwards.
Okay, and he's coming through this, and just everyone's flowing through this choke right now, but KN gets taken down a lot as well.
Fish on the medic? No, he's not getting enough damage. The trading numbers at least, it's not a disaster, but That's probably a good time to stop pushing here. Philip had sticks on choke already! He was so prepared for someone to try to chase him down and choke.
The big brain on him. He just knew exactly what was going to happen with Fancy.
One brain cell on Chalky, he just wants to go in and walks into a sticky trap himself.
Yeah, nice surf there from Philip. Just takes the scout damage and rides it out of choke. Gonna reset here. That was an incredibly even fight there. Whenever one side lost a player, the other side immediately lost a player in almost the exact same way. So they just traded perfectly here. And we had a whole lot of stuff happening, a lot of kills being exchanged, but the situation remained the same the entire time.
Alright, time is ticking though. Cannot be understated. Round map time are basically the same at this rate. 5 minutes left is all they got on MANDEM to bring themselves back into the game and at least get to overtime. Make their way to the Golden Cap and have a chance to go to Grand Finals, because if anything stays as it is right now, the Germans will claim a victory in this match, and for the second season in a row, make third place go to Grand Finals?
Yeah, MANDEM wins regular season and then gets third. That would be outrageously funny.
It cannot happen twice. Surely not.
It would be too bad. But sometimes even funny things don't happen here. So Nikki goes up very aggressively. Both soldiers go in here. Condor gets hit really heavily. Shocky steals his med kit as well.
Ken all the way behind though. Could just come in for some prize. Gets into the medic's back and just hits every rocket. No one spotted that one at all.
He's alive as well. This is so crazy. Ken is living here. And they can just take it slow, go in here. Oh man, I'm so scared that they're gonna drop here. Look where Fancy's position. He wants to just sink some stickies in the joke.
He's not doing it. He doesn't dare. There's 3 minutes left and you're trying to bank it on a funny one? I don't know about that.
But I mean, you have to do something, right? That's what it feels like, at least.
Well, first of all, you got to get off Kane behind.
Yeah, actually just being a pest for so long. And
this is the problem. He knows these guys too well.
Yeah, he knows all their strats. He knows how they think. He knows what they're calling. He knows who's getting frustrated. He's just in their brains, just rummaging in there, absolutely living rent-free. And look at this. The Germans, they're just going to slow it down. They lost K in there. They didn't want to push in there with just an Ugrad and the one man down. Just going to take it slow, doing the 7 thing and just pushing the clock to its limit, forcing teams to push into them. And Germans, just to reiterate, they've been winning these DM fights.
Well, MANDEM's got to take a chance here. Bombs away onto the medic, see if they can get the force out early. Not happening. Tiny surf from Condor will be enough to get away. Rest of the team not daring too much on this one. They wanted the force, but not this badly. With 2 minutes left, still have a bit of wiggle room, but time's running thin here. So if this isn't enough, what will it take to really break this one open?
Well, good news here is that the Germans are very content to not push. So that means that you're going to have a lot of times where you can do some pretty risky plays and perhaps not get punished by it. Rockstick is playing pretty far forward here. Okay, Lauden's going to jump in first. He's going to be the main space buyer here for his team. Everyone else, oh no, Fancy runs into a sticky trap. These sticky traps have been so decisive this game, and everyone's just getting taken down. This defensive hold from the Germans, it's so strong. And now if they push out onto second, take that, then it's just going to be so much more ground that MANDEM have to take in order to go all the way to the enemy last. Oh, yeah, they're just going to have to push here. They're doing it. They're getting bounced around a lot, though. Look at the Lados. And there we go. Finally, Philip actually goes down, though. This is really nice, but Pickles get taken down by KN as well. And, like, Shocky is threatening the back cap. Last is ready to be capped here. Nikki gets picked off here by Fist Copper Bell. This is such a huge pick. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds here, Dun Tom. And Pickles is dead. This is going to be the driest of dry pushes to make this work.
Maybe so. There's not much of a choice here. The Germans can just sit on the Spire and just call this a victory here. That's the push coming out of last. Anything that works, they need to find it here right away. Everyone's just busting through.
Philip's
on
dead.
Top of the medic, just instantly gets the kill there. They're already sending people to last as well, and that alone will just about do it, and the Germans will claim their way into Grand Finals.
There we go. Shocky makes Grand Final for the first time in 23 seasons. It's crazy.
In the first time in 23 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, that sounds correct as well. And MANDEM, they're officially a meme now. Win regular season, get third for the second time in a row. Absolutely heartbreaking.
This has to be the saddest first of all time.
Yeah, big ups to the Germans there. Like, the way they won every single team fight on the process map, that's really crazy. And yeah, KN played out of his mind. Absolutely incredible. He's got all the bragging rights after this map against his old team. Well done to him.
Just really solid performance all around. Very, very impressed, and a great globe as well, because they were a lot less consistent a team, I think, at the beginning of the season. The heights were already there, but the consistency there certainly wasn't. But it's looking a whole lot different now. Even the map they lost just barely as well, mind you, so much improved teams in Premiership after all this time, and the Germans more than anyone, I guess, at this point. Although, I guess there's still one team waiting to maybe dash their dreams a little bit.
Yeah, TLR in the finals, the last resort, going to be the last final obstacle here. And
they're living up to the name.
Yeah, very much so. That's going to come up in about 2 hours. We're going to broadcast that on
Like,
this
glow
channel.
up in their own right as well, right? Last
yes,
season, like,
they
barely,
were so bad in the
barely,
of the season.
like, I think it was like head-to-head loss 5th they got in the end. And now the upper seed in Grands.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have no idea what's going to happen. You know, I picked MANDEM in the beginning of the season to win. I am already wrong. So who knows what's going to happen? I never would have picked TLR in a million years to win. I thought they were just I thought they were just going to be like 6th place or something. And no, Flick, he can win this. They're actually the favorites. They're coming from the winner's bracket. And I can't wait to see this. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's going to probably be one of the closest finals we've ever seen. And
it certainly will be a very interesting one, especially since how did the match go they played against each other? I don't even remember. It's been so long ago at this point.
Yeah, I'm not going to look it up right now.
I will.
Okay, me too. I lied.
Okay, TLR did tie them actually in the end. 4-0, 1-2 Golden Cap on Sunshine and Metalworks. So it was a tie. The ETF2L point says 4-2, but it's, you know, both teams won a map, so it's a tie. So we don't actually have a very conclusive answer already. Not like it mattered, I guess, this match as well, because the Germans pulled the F set up. Maybe they can do it again. For a team that, through various roster iterations, was in Prem for quite a while, it is still quite nice to see, I guess, to have eventually a roster that makes it all the way. But TLR will be a big team to beat for sure. They played such a good season overall. Had similarly so some consistency issues here and there. I mean, started off with just a lot of points lost here and there.
Yeah.
Including,
I think they started off with Flick on Pocket Scout, and then they switched into Roman Scout.
And they lost like 3 or 4 maps in the first 2 weeks. So
yeah, so something they figured something out, and it just really started working, and they've been one of the best team in Prem ever since.
And that is with tying 4 times out of 7. So it's just one of the seasons of all time.
If it brings you to the grand finals from the winners bracket, I mean, it's worth it, right?
They won the games that mattered in the end, right? The ties they had were like Golden Cap lost maps, just 2 of them. They beat MANDEM in the end, which mattered a whole lot as well, to get themselves the highest seed imaginable, and that just got them all the distance here. But they still have one more mountain to climb, and I'd be very interested to see how that one goes.
Yeah, and that's going to be at 21:15, like normal time.
CET, so in 2 hours, yes.
Exactly. So we're going to be there, and I can't wait to do it. But right now, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to get something to eat. I need to ready myself.
I need to watch a low game, apparently. I don't know why they're playing today, but they are. I will be very distracted during the entire game.
Yes. So get hyped about the low game, and then come get hyped about the grand finals in ETF2L.
One of these things is more exciting than the other.
Yeah, and that's all we're going to say about that. So huge shout out to Dr. Underscore for everything, doing the production. Huge shout out to you, Dom Tom, for casting with me, and huge shout out to everyone who's been watching. My demo call is still open. You know, we just saw some crazy air shots and everything, so I'm sure there's more playoffs going on, or cool things are happening. So make sure you send those in. Well, good night.